RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Jenny Becker, Paul Lauschke and Associates. Let Jenny hit a home run for you. Greenskeeper Lawn Service. You do the watering, we'll do the rest. ConocoPhillips. Energy for tomorrow. Matt Horn, Landmark Realty. Put a top real estate pro in charge. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. Weber Granite City Chevrolet. Buy American. United Methodist Village, where living is easy. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance, all your protection under one roof. And the Chuck West Agency, helping business owners for over 46 years.
Thank you for tuning in to the PrepCast Broadcasting Network. BJ Schulte and Jim Barrett with you. I want to thank the Metro Collegiate League once again. We were with them all season long, every Tuesday and Friday, and now we've had the playoffs covered for you. A very exciting playoff so far. And the first pitch from Steve Johnson is on the way. And it's a swing and a chopper foul. And Steve Johnson's a power pitcher, Jim. 52 strikeouts in less than 44 innings of work.
Yeah, he's had some good performances this year, and I'm sure Ken Reitz is looking for him to be on top of his game. He's got a sweeping curveball. He comes overhand, and he can really throw some heat.
And its next delivery is chopped toward third once again. Erickson stays down on it. Lost it across to Jesse Trask at first base. Out number one. And Steve Johnson off to a good start.
That's how we start the game. It's a beautiful sun field here at Gordon Moore Park. It's Lloyd Hopkins Field. We'll talk a little bit about Lloyd Hopkins as we get a little further into this game. Some interesting history over here. It's a beautiful field. If you haven't been here, it's worth the drive.
Yeah, it really is. And in steps Merrick Conway. He was 4 for 4. It was a tough night for the Alton Indians. They lost 16-5. There he slaps one out to left field in front of the left fielder, Monty Gibbs. He's now 5 for 5 in the championship series and now 7 for 14 overall in the playoffs. And not only is bad, but he has some speed on the bases, and he has a cannon from center field. He's thrown out a couple of runners at home plate already in the playoffs. So he has really stepped up his play in the playoffs, and in steps Jordan Colvin, the second baseman. And Colvin, 1 for 4 in Alton's defeat yesterday afternoon. And just a reminder that tomorrow is Game 3. That one's at the Baldwin Athletic Association at 7:30. First pitch to Colvin, catches the outside corner, strike one.
Yeah, Matt Judkins and Tim Miller will be on the call for that game.
So come on back here on PrepCast. Listening live, call a friend, tell them you can hear it live, absolutely free. If they can't catch it live, go back and listen to it on archive. No charge as Johnson's 0-1 delivery. Breaking pitch up and in on Colvin. That evens the count at 1-1. We're in the top of the first, just the third batter of the game in Game 2 of the Metro Collegiate Championship Series. Same two teams we had last year as Bridgeton won Game 1 already. They have a runner on first as Alton with one down, and next pitch is in the dirt. Conway gets a little too far away from first, but scampers back before a throw. Makes the count 2-1.
Yeah, so far Joe Berkelman is holding him on at first base, but you know he would like to get him in a scoring position and get that early lead. That would take some of the sting out of last night's performance.
And give Corey Duncan, the starting pitcher for Alton, the lead to work with. There goes Conway, the hit and run. It's chopped foul behind home plate. That evens the count at 2-2. As mentioned, both these teams, interesting enough, have the exact same record. Bridgeton finished the regular season at 15-13, just a game ahead of in the fourth spot for the playoffs. Barely edging out Kirkwood for that last spot. Here they are in the championship series with a 1-0 series lead. As a 2-2 delivery to Colvin is fouled straight back. He stays alive with that 2-2 count. On deck is the cleanup hitter, the catcher Brandon Adams. And here's a quick throw over to first. Close play, but Conway mid first slide back in safely. As Johnson stares into Tyler Harrison, his catcher, checks on the runner from stretch position, brings it to the plate. Conway moving again. That's going to avoid the double play. The chopper to Terry. Terry fires it across the first, out in time for out number 2, but moving the runner. A chance for Brandon Adams to drive in the first run of the game. Our first runner in scoring position as Brandon Adams, big number 6 from the right side, will step in. He's catching tonight. And he has struggled in the postseason as well, but looking to give his team the lead. And Johnson from the stretch position again. Checks on the runner at second, brings it to the plate. Swing and a miss. Good delivery by Steve Johnson.
They're not looking over any pitches. They're coming out pumping.
Looking at that first pitch, we've seen a couple of hitters swing at that first delivery. An 0-1 count. Johnson comes set, checking on Conway. Genetti trying to sneak behind him as the next delivery is inside. Makes it 1-1. As Erickson at third, a few steps off the line. Regular depth at shortstop. Genetti playing up the middle to try and keep Conway close. There's the 1-1 pitch as Johnson comes set, brings it to the plate. That one dips down low on the breaking pitch, makes it 2-1. On Brandon Adams. If he can reach the left fielder, Derek Mateo will come to the plate. And Johnson looks in, has a sign from Harrison again. Winds and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Steve Johnson will be looking for his first strikeout of the game. Mentioned earlier, really a strikeout pitcher. As he shakes off Harrison. See if he goes with the fastball or the breaking pitch on this 2-2 pitch. It's on the way and just off the corner. Ball 3. Borderline pitch makes it 3-2.
It took a little nerves of steel to take that pitch.
It sure did. I'm not exactly right behind home plate, but it sure did look close. Home plate umpire says it was off the plate, so we have a full count. Base open at first with Conway at second. Conway not moving. Next delivery is ball 4. First and second for Alton here in the top of the first inning. So Conway at second, Brandon Adams, he draws a walk, and in steps Derek Mateo.
So Berkelman's got a little something going here now with runners at first and second with 2 away and the opportunity to be the first scorers in this game.
And Mateo has been, along with Merrick Conway, he's been the other top performer at the plate, Jim. He's been very productive. He's 5 for 11 so far in the postseason, including 1 out of 3 yesterday afternoon. He bats from the right side. Looking for his 4th RBI of the postseason. Swings through a breaking pitch, strike 1. On deck would be Zach Hawkins, the first baseman. Also a right-handed batter. 2 down. We've seen 1 hit in the inning. Merrick Conway, that 1-out base hit. Brandon Adams has drawn a walk. Next delivery to Mateo is a ball. Makes it 1-1.
Mateo's gone 5 for 11 in the playoff series. He's got a couple of doubles. He's got 3 RBIs, and he struck out twice.
Looking for that all-important 2-out base hit as we play in the top of the first inning. As Johnson winds and fires, check swing, ball. Makes it 2-1. So once again, don't forget, if you're listening live, call a friend. You can hear this game absolutely free online, or go back and listen to the archives. You can go back and listen to Game 1 if you would like. Absolutely free. Next delivery is low. Makes it 3-1. So right here, Mateo looking to be patient. If it's not in his zone, he's got to be looking for his pitch with a 3-1 count, 2 runners on base. Let's see what he does. He holds the bat high. As Johnson takes his time. Now he comes set, checking on the runners, brings it to the plate, and a tap straight back, makes it full. So now the runners will be in motion.
Yeah, the runners are going to go on the pitch now. He's got a full count. He's playing. He's kind of in a defensive mode, trying to keep from striking out. But we'll see what happens.
So Conway will move from second, Adams from first. With the full count on Derek Mateo, the left fielder. And a 3-2 pitch is on the way, and it's called. Strike 3. Mateo is starting to go down to first, but home plate umpire rings him up, and that's strike 3. And we have played a half inning. 2 runners left on base for Alton in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. No score.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown.
Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
We're defined by what we pass on to the next generation. The ConocoPhillips Wood River Refinery is a proud neighbor of the Riverbend region. Their employees produce and distribute quality refined products throughout the Midwest in an environmentally safe manner. By using innovative refining processes, they are ready to meet the energy challenges of the future, so we can pass on what matters most to the ones who matter most. ConocoPhillips, energy for tomorrow.
So in steps Mike Young, a speedy leadoff man, your true kind of leadoff hitter, the left-handed slap-type hitter with a lot of speed. Will try and work the count and get on base. He shows bunt, fouls it straight back, and Young was in on the fun, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs yesterday. But if he gets on base, he can steal a bag as well. With great speed, and they have a great combination, that 1-2 hole with Monty Gibbs in the 2 hole. He's a great hit and runner type player as well. He just puts the ball in play as Young batting from the left side, 0-1 count after he fouled off that bunt. This one is slapped out the short. Watson gets a good hop, fires it across, and in time he kind of hesitated, but then he hurried to throw a strong throw because Young was hustling down the line.
Yeah, you call it the right way. He really got a very charitable hop. It skipped on the grass and came very high up on him. He just right at his eye level. He just had an easy play over to first.
So in steps Monty Gibbs, a right-handed batter, plays left field for the Bridgeton Knights. As he'll stand in against Corey Duncan, the right-hander for the Indians. He picked up the last 2 outs in the clincher against Baldwin on Thursday night. Picked up a save as there's a called strike to Monty Gibbs. As Gibbs attends Westminster College. And next delivery is away for a ball, 1-1. As Monty Gibbs and Mike Young, in fact, both attend Westminster College. The 1-2 hitters in this lineup for the Knights. On deck, Jeff Erickson, the third baseman. Next delivery, up and away. Makes it 2-1. 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Mike Young grounded out to L.J. Watson to get things going for the Knights. As Duncan, the right-hander, winds and fires. And this one catches the outside corner. Makes it 2-2. And Duncan really looking for a quick inning to get his bats back on the field as Alton stranded 2 runners in the top of that first inning. Missed a golden opportunity to get on top as Gibbs stays alive as he fouls one straight back.
We got a very interesting ballpark here. We got a sun porch up here above the Alton lineup. People are sitting up there in folding chairs. We've got bleachers. We've got theater seating. We got a little everything here at Alton. It's really very picturesque. That's ballpark.
Beautiful ballpark as Duncan 2-2 pitch on the way, low and away. Full count on Monty Gibbs. Second place hitter for the Bridgeton Knights. Kenny Reed's squad, as we mentioned, is they've won all 3 of their playoff games, and the 3-2 pitch to Gibbs is outside for a walk. Monty Gibbs reaches. He's another player that has a threat to steal a bag with Jeff Erickson coming to bat at the third baseman for Bridgeton. And if Erickson can reach, you're asking for trouble because Cody Terry, maybe the best offensive threat in the league, is on deck. He was outstanding in the clinching game on Thursday night. Both had 11 putouts. We'll get back to the Erickson at the plate right now, but looks at a ball in the dirt. Cody Terry has some of the best offensive numbers in the league. He's on deck.
Yeah, Monty Gibbs is tied with Michael Young for steals on this team. They each have 14. So he is a threat to go.
Yep, so a lot of speed at the top of that lineup before you get to the power with Erickson, Terry, and Carter. In the middle, they have Gibbs picked off, though. The throw goes from Hawkins across to Watson. He's running him down all the way to the first base bag as he dives for the bag, but Watson tags him first, and picked off at first is Monty Gibbs. So the pickoff play goes 1-3-6 as Watson did it all by himself after he received the throw from Hawkins, the first baseman, Zach Hawkins. And that's the second out of the inning.
He's going to get a talking to from his coach.
His next delivery to Erickson is grounded down the first base line, and the first base umpire had to hop out of the way.
That's Mike Sheets.
That's Mike Sheets at first base, but he made the call. He knew what he wanted to call, but he had to finish getting out of the way of the ball.
Right.
And a late call, but the foul ball.
Yeah, the sense though that if he hadn't been picked off and it was a fair hit, it might have changed the whole complexion of the inning.
Just fouled down the first base bag, and the next delivery on the way to Erickson. He chops this one short. Watson stays down on it. Crow hops across to Hawkins for out number 3. As neither team scores in the first inning, we head to the second inning as you are listening to the PrepCast Broadcasting Network, Metro Collegiate Baseball.
Yeah, my hairstylist is like family. When pool water turned my hair green, she came over right away. Now that kind of commitment is a lot like my American Family Insurance agent. When our washing machine flooded the basement, my agent showed up wearing knee-high rubber boots. My agent understands that the ultimate coverage isn't a piece of paper, it's peace of mind. American Family Insurance, the family you choose.
American Family Insurance.
Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
Jenny Becker of Paul Lauschke and Associates is a longtime supporter of American Legion Baseball. As a veteran player in the Riverbend real estate market, Jenny has sold and closed over $3 million in 2009. Whether you are buying or selling a home, call Jenny Becker today at 465-2966 and let her hit a home run for you.
Foul territory in this ballpark. That's one good thing that you like if you're a pitcher, as there's a called strike from Steve Johnson. Johnson has a good fastball. And the next delivery is another fastball, and this one catches the outside corner, makes it 0-2. As Hawkins will be fouled by Dreemeyer and Shockey here in the top of the second inning. Next delivery is lined down the right field line, just foul. Nice job by Hawkins trying to go with the pitch, but just a couple of feet foul down that first base line.
Yeah, Mike Sheets got himself in position there. He can make that call.
Hawkins so far in the playoffs, 2 out of 13, as well as he's drawn a couple of walks. He's also a pitcher. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings in the postseason. As next delivery fouled off the right side once again. Staying alive. As the dimensions on this ball field, 325 down the lines, 380 to straightaway center field. And Johnson's next delivery is half swing, but got a piece of it. Fouls it straight back, still 0-2 count on Hawkins. Infield and outfield pretty much straight away defensively. With the leadoff hitting Hawkins up, right-handed batter as Johnson from the wind-up position. As he brings home the 0-2 delivery inside. Ball 1 on Hawkins.
You know, BJ, there's no comparison between this and last night's game. Bridgeton had 7 runs in the second inning, 1 in the third, and 4 in the fourth. So that one was pretty much decided before it got started.
And the next pitch is another foul ball, looking and not giving chase Tyler Harrison. First baseman gave a look as well. Jesse Trask, a well out of play. Still a 1-2 count. That's 4 foul balls for Zach Hawkins as he's getting a good look at Steve Johnson. As Johnson stares into Harrison, has his sign, brings a 1-2 pitch on the way, and just very close on the 1-2 delivery. Makes it 2-2. Must have been just a tad off the outside corner. Now 2-2 pitch on the way from Johnson, and this one is chopped towards short. Cody Terry charges, gets a good hop, throws across the Trask for out number 1.
It's pretty much an automatic when it goes that direction.
Yeah, I was mentioning a little bit last inning, Terry didn't get the bat, but in that game 2 of the semifinal series, we were at BMAC, and he just made one play after another. He had 11 putouts in that game, and a couple of them were spectacular, as well as he had 3 hits. He was a star of the game in that game 2 clincher, as Coach Kenny Reed's going to go out to the mound and talk to Steve Johnson, as talking about that clincher in game 2. The other star of that game was the left-handed starter for Bridgeton, Cody Blunt. He had a complete game shutout, one of the best performances of the season in the Metro Collegiate League, especially since it was a playoff performance. And it was Mike Oliveri pitching 5 innings yesterday to pick up the victory. So Bridgeton really has their rotation going pretty well. And they have a good one on the mound here tonight. And Steve Johnson, 2.06 earned run average throughout the season. That was in 8 games. He made 7 of those 8 games were starts, as this one is lined toward first. Trask stays back on it. Was hit off the end of the bat. He's going to make that play unassisted for out number 2.
You know, we've talked a lot about Cody Terry during the season. Tennessee Martin ball player is the son of Scott Terry, so he's got a lot of baseball under his belt. He's been able to observe it from a former major leaguer. And speaking of major leaguers, the 4 or 5 of the Bridgeton players went down to the Cardinal dugout today for the Dodge game. They met Joe Torre, and they all came into this ballpark really inspired.
Well, I bet as the next first delivery is ball 1. Of course, Kenny Reitz, the former big leaguer, the coach for the Bridgeton Knights.
He's got the keys to the locker room.
That's right. He's got the connection right there. As ball 2-0 on Kyle Shockey, the third baseman. He was playing catcher in the semifinal series. Gets to start at third base here tonight. And next delivery inside, 3-0.
I can tell you, they were like kids in a candy store. They were smiles from ear to ear that they had been in a major league ballpark and met Joe Torre and some of the. I don't know if they met Manny or not, but hopefully they did.
And the next delivery is inside. Second walk of the game for Johnson. And Jim, that was what was the Achilles heel for Johnson in his first performance. His team was able to come back in game one of the semis when he let up 5 runs in 5 innings. They trailed that game 6-0. They came back and won, but he had 5 walks in those 5 innings, including 4 in a row.
That really irritates a manager, doesn't it? To walk a player like that with 2 outs. They'd probably rather see a triple than a walk.
So in steps the DH, the ninth place hitter. That's Corey Deneen. He bats from the right side. Shockey with a short lead at first, and then another ball. That's 5 in a row thrown by Steve Johnson, the big right-hander.
This game's being shown in Illinois on RiverBender.com. We're getting the courtesy of a feedback television over here watching the game on TV. It's very, very nice.
And the next delivery is a ball on the inside part of the plate, 3-0, so that's at 2-0. 6 straight balls thrown by Johnson. Johnson attends William Jewell. He's a big kid, 6'4", listed at 220 pounds. He comes set, checking the runner Shockey at first. Winds and fires. That one's off the corner as well. That's ball 3. And if Deneen reaches, you go back to the top of the lineup to L.J. Watson. As Alton has already stranded 2 runners on. They stranded those 2 runners in the first where they had a hit and a walk. 3-0 pitch for Deneen on the way, and that's ball 4. 8 balls in a row for Johnson. 2 walks, and in steps L.J. Watson. So Alton already with 4 base runners in the first 2 innings. They're trying to push a run across the plate, though.
Yeah, Brandon, Tyler Harrison has gone out to talk to his pitcher. We got a little conference on the mound. Now the umpire's going to go out and break it up, but it's just a little distressing. You know, you never know when you're going to have a breakdown, but he's starting to have one here with 2 walks, with 2 outs in the second inning. Only after the second.
So in steps L.J. Watson. He grounded out to third base his first time up. And he's trying to come through for the Indians. Right-handed batter, a little bit of an open stance for Watson, the shortstop. And first delivery to him. It gets past the catcher Harrison. Both runners are going to move up on ball 1. So 2 runners in scoring position on the wild pitch, and Johnson has really lost his control, and they cannot make a mound visit without removing Johnson because, remember, Kenny Reitz was already out there.
So he's actually Alton is the visiting team tonight, even though they're playing on their home field. So it's one of the quirks of their rules.
It's league rules as Watson from the right side with a 1-0 count. Johnson winds and fires, and there's a strike right down the middle, 1-1. And sometimes it just takes that 1 strike to get the pitcher going again as 2 runners on. Both walked in the inning, a wild pitch. Second and third, 2 outs. Top of the second inning, Alton and Bridgeton in game 2. 1-1 pitch to Watson is popped up, right side, out of foul territory. Harrison gives look, but not enough. As it bounces, you can hear it loudly bounce on the roof and go behind the concession stand as that makes it 1-2. Now Johnson can make his pitch ahead in the count as Tyler Harrison wants to walk out there, and I'm sure they're talking pitch selection right here, Jim.
Yeah, the umpire's wearing out a path to the mound to break up these discussions. They don't want to make a mistake now. They feel like they're in the driver's seat. They're not going to let Alton get ahead without Alton being on the field themselves.
So we're back to live action after the brief meeting between Harrison and Johnson with a 1-2 count on Watson. Johnson winds and fires, and this one is close but called the ball on a breaking pitch, makes it 2-2. As Watson being selected, let that one go. So 2-2 count with 2 outs. Here's the next delivery. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch out of the zone. Watson waves right through it. That is the second strikeout of the game for Johnson, and it's come at key times. Both strikeouts have ended an inning with 2 runners on base. So Alton has left 4 runners on base through their first 2 at-bats. We played an inning and a half here in Alton at Lloyd Hopkins Field, Game 2 of the Metro Collegiate Championship Series, and we have no score.
Have you ever admired the well-kept turf on a golf course and thought, I wish my lawn looked like that? Well, now it can, and it's not too early to start planning for a beautiful lawn this summer. Led by one of only a few certified golf course superintendents in the region, we've been providing quality turf for over 20 years, and our experience in the industry is why our results are second to none. Call today to schedule your free lawn care analysis. The Greenskeeper Lawn Service. You do the watering, we'll do the rest. Have you outgrown your home, or has your home outgrown you? If it's time for a change, call Matt Horn, the agent who was voted Madison County's #1 realtor. Most of Matt Horn's listings and sales come from referrals from satisfied customers. Call Matt Horn of Landmark Realty today for a free market analysis of your home. Call Matt Horn today at 560-8201 and put a top real estate professional in charge of all your real estate needs.
One of the top run producers in the league this year as he looks at a called strike on the first delivery. As Corey Duncan had a pretty quick first inning, and that one's lined out to left center field, and another hit for Cody Terry. That's going to be a base hit as the left fielder is able to get to that quickly, as that is Derek Matea to hold him to a single, but a leadoff base hit for Cody Terry.
Yeah, he had 11 putouts in the win over Clayton. He's really a fine ball player, and probably one of the league's most valuable players that he's got. He probably will win that MVP award this year.
And in, great chance as in steps Zach Carter, the right fielder. See if Cody Terry wants to be in motion, not running. Breaking ball, low and away for a ball. 1-0 on Carter. Carter is a player that has played numerous positions for this Bridgeton Knights squad. In right field here tonight as the next delivery is chopped foul down the third base line. Evens the count at 1. So we'd also invite you to send us an email if you are listening live. You just got to go to the homepage of PrepCast and click on Email Us Live. My name's BJ Schulte. Click on my name. Tell us your name, who you're rooting for, maybe where you're from, and we'll read it live on the air. Get your name read live on the air here on PrepCast.com as Terry takes his lead from first. There he's going. He's moving and swinging a foul tip back there. For a moment, didn't know if it went off the catcher's mitt or if it was foul, but it was fouled straight back for strike number 2. Terry has to return to first base.
Carter's hitting .276 this season. He's had 19 runs. He's had 29 hits, and he's driven in 16. So another one of those very productive Bridgeton Knights.
As Carter from the right side in the hole 1-2, a quick snap throw over, and then safely Terry at first base. As Duncan checks on Terry at first base, comes set and delivers, and this pitch is low and away. 2-2. On the right fielder, Zach Carter steps out, looks down to third base to Coach Ken Reitz. With 2 strike count, let's see if Terry is in motion again. He's in motion on 1 pitch already in this at bat. Not running, and this one is chopped toward the hole on the left side. Nice play by the third baseman, throws it across to first, and safe at first base. As at third, Kyle Shockey cut the ball off in the hole, but good speed, didn't have a play at second, threw across his body to first, and infield single for Zach Carter. Back-to-back singles from Terry and Carter.
Let's get it right here now. Before we get too far into this game, we want to thank our hosts. Rob Cotter's here tonight, Mark Stein's here tonight, Metro Collegians. They put on one heck of a tournament, and this year they're doing the same. It's their 30th year of business.
And Ricky Massam, the DH, steps in. He's showing bunt and pulls back for a called strike 1.
Richard's really got something going here for his first and second, nobody out.
And
might be a good sign right here.
on deck, it's Tyler Harrison. In the hole, it's Jesse Trask with nobody out, so Alton stranded 4 runners in the first 2 innings. And Bridgeton trying to take advantage of their first real great scoring chance. They had a 1-out walk, but Monty Gibbs was picked off at first base, so that rally went away quickly as the first baseman Zach Hawkins in on the grass, expecting to bunt once again. And this one is chopped towards short. It's going to be Watson backhanding it. Takes a bad hop, throws across to first. Good stretch by Hawkins at first as he returned to first to cover the ground out. So he didn't bunt, but he did the job, same job as he advances the runners on the ground out to short.
Yeah, all you got to do is hit the ball on the left side of the infield. You can move the runners along. And he did his job. It was just as effective as a bunt. Maybe even more effective because of a bunt they might have had to play third.
So it's Tyler Harrison with a great RBI opportunity with second and third. Just one down here in the bottom of the second inning as Duncan checks the runners, brings it to the plate, and the delivery catches the outside corner. As strike one. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in Alton, Illinois. Game 2 of the championship series. We thank you for tuning in to PrepCast Broadcasting Network. Next delivery is outside. Makes it 1-1.
This is really a chamber of commerce tonight. The weather's perfect, the sky's clear, the fans are really enjoying, whooping it up and really enjoying this game.
As Duncan comes set and brings it to the plate. This one line up the middle. It gets through past Colvin. One-run scores Terry for sure, and stopping at third base is going to be Carter because that was a line drive. He did not know if Colvin was going to catch the ball, so he had to hold up. So it'll be first and third as Terry scores. Carter goes to third. RBI hit for the catcher Tyler Harrison, and it's our first run of the game, and Bridgeton on top.
Yeah, he's hitting 225 on the season, so this is the third RBI of the season. It was really surprising, but it came at a very opportune moment.
So in steps Jesse Trask, I believe, as we had Tyler Harrison batting seventh. Or I did at least. But this is Tyler Harrison at the plate right now. I believe that was Jesse Trask with the RBI base hit. As number 20, Harrison, on the back of his uniform, batting from the right side right now in the 8th spot. And delivery is low and away and stealing second, and going to be thrown out at second base. That is Jesse Trask, the base runner. So we did have the lineup flip-flopped with Harrison had him at 7th and Trask at 8th. But in fact, Trask was batting 7th, picked up the RBI. He gets caught stealing at second base. And Tyler Harrison now at the plate with a runner at third base and 2 outs now.
Yeah, they changed the lineup on it, didn't they?
Yeah, the original lineup card did have Harrison batting 7th that we received, so Harrison with a 1-2 count. So credit Jesse Trask with the RBI. So Bridgeton has had a runner picked off and a runner caught stealing. And the delivery is a swing and a foul tip by Harrison. As you got to wonder if Trask being thrown out, if that was some kind of set double steal play, Jim, the way that he didn't even slide at second base, but you would think it was a double steal. He would have tried to, at least the runner would have broke for home, but that never happened.
You know, something was really messed up on that play, and someone missed with signaling something happened. He was a sitting duck trying to stand up going into second.
As Harrison with the 1-2 count, lines this one down to third base long, hard hit ground ball, nice backhand by Shockey, long, strong throw, he gets the runner at first, great play at third base by Kyle Shockey for the third out of the inning. So only 1 run allowed on the inning by Corey Duncan. 1 run on 3 base hits. Bridgeton lost a runner on the base pass. We played 2 innings, and Bridgeton leads Alton by the score of 1-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're now approaching the island of Bora Bora. Enjoy your stay.
This beautiful home contains 8 bedrooms, 2 family rooms, and a private jacuzzi just off the master bedroom.
Hey, anybody up for a cruise in my sweet boat?
What are you going to do with all the money you save from buying your car at Roberts Motors?
Roberts Motors in Alton or online at robertsmotors.com.
Make life easy for yourself at the United Methodist Village.
With no more stairs and no more home upkeep in a spacious apartment or villa home, with no upfront endowment and just 1 monthly fee, you stay in control of your finances. Now that's easy and smart. Countryside living that is fun, neighborly, and only minutes from the Clark Bridge. The United Methodist Village, where living is easy.
I only wish I'd have moved here sooner.
Game 2 of the championship series of the Metro Collegiate League as Bridgeton leads Alton 1-0 as Alton will have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. Merrick Conway, Jordan Colvin, and Brandon Adams.
BJ, I think we got messed up scorecard. I think Bridgeton batted out of order.
Initially that was the lineup card that we had right before the game, so either Kenny Reitz changed the lineup at the home plate and they exchanged lineup cards, or they batted out of order.
And we're going to find out eventually.
Next time they come through the lineup, as Johnson's second delivery is a ball. It's 1-1 on Merrick Conway, who is 5 for 5 in the championship series so far.
What if they change uniforms?
I don't think so. The next delivery is a breaking pitch up high to Merrick Conway.
That would be the approach, wouldn't it?
The approach that Kenny Reitz would try and use, but once that next pitch was delivered, it didn't matter.
They don't know who you are. That won't work.
Conway swings and misses. Strike 2, 2-2. As Alton has left 4 runners on through the first 2 innings. They've had 1 base hit, and they've also drawn 3 walks, as this one's fouled straight back. As Conway, really a complete player, mentioned his last time, his great defensive play in center field, has a cannon for a throwing arm. And again, he's 7 for 14 in the playoffs so far. And next delivery to Conway, lays off a good breaking pitch. It was tailed low and away. Makes the count full.
We're 5 minutes to 8, and dusk has started to take over. So this is that tweener time where the lights are not effective and it's getting kind of dark.
Full count delivery to Conway on the way. This one is lined down to third base line. Erickson from his knees gets up, throws across. Great scoop by Trask at first, and he's out. Great play on both ends as Erickson dove toward the third base line, and got up on his knees, quickly got to his feet, threw a BB over to first, and Trask, a great defensive first baseman, played the shortstop.
That was a tremendous play. That was as good as a major leaguer can make that play. He was down on all fours and still threw a perfect strike from first base and got him by about a centimeter.
It was a great play by Erickson and Trask for the first out of the top of the third inning. Jordan Colvin steps in, the shortstop, and Johnson, working quickly, fires this one in there inside for ball 1.
I think the Alton fans didn't agree with that call.
It was bang bang, but first place umpire right on top of it, Mike Sheets over there. As Johnson steps off the rubber, back behind home plate, takes a deep breath now, trying to reset himself against Jordan Colvin. A 1-0 pitch on the way, and this one is chopped right back to Johnson. He got a glove on it, deflects it towards second, slides to the ball, not going to have a play. Infield single for Jordan Colvin, as Johnson thought he should have had it, throws the ball in his mitt, and 1 out base hit.
Steve Johnson did a really nice job of knocking it down, but he couldn't chase it down. He went about 15, 20 feet away, and so you really can't give him an error on the play. You have to call it correctly, just an infield base hit.
Infield single, so in steps the cleanup, hitting Brandon Adams. Open stance from the right side as Colvin takes a good-sized lead, not running. Next delivery, first delivery to Adams, is a ball. Ball inside, 1-0.
Adams is hitting .292. He's had 21 hits, and he's driven in 17 this season for the Alton Indians.
And Johnson again from the stretch position. Brings it to the plate. This one grounded towards second base. Giannetti wanted to flip it quickly. They can't make a play. Throws to first and out at first base on a close play. And Giannetti nearly didn't get any outs. He wanted to turn the double play so quickly. Tried to flip it before he really had it. And he bobbled it, then threw to first on a very close play. So it's just a play that goes 4-3 on the fielder's choice. And moving up, or just 4-3 on the play. Colvin moving up to second base with 2 outs now.
That could be a turn point because at least he made something out of something. You know, he could have eaten the ball and gotten no out, but at least he got 1 out of it.
And it really was a tailor-made double play ball, as this one is grounded to short, charging hard again. Terry throwing off balance in time to Jesse Trask. The defense for Bridgeton, very good in that third inning. A great play by Erickson at third, really helping to prevent any kind of rally for Alton in the top of the third inning.
We're defined by what we pass on to the next generation. The ConocoPhillips Wood River Refinery is a proud neighbor of the Riverbend region. Their employees produce and distribute quality refined products throughout the Midwest in an environmentally safe manner. By using innovative refining processes, they are ready to meet the energy challenges of the future, so we can pass on what matters most to the ones who matter most. ConocoPhillips, energy for tomorrow.
My dentist is like part of the family. He's always gone out of his way to make things as painless as possible for me. He's kind of like my American Family Insurance agent. Whenever I've got a problem, my agent solves it quickly, and it never requires Novocaine. I think my dentist could take some pointers from my agent. American Family Insurance. The family you choose.
American Family Insurance.
Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
That was his next question was, what was that website again?
riverBender.com.
And there you go, LL. As Janetti fouls one off, makes it 0-1. Janetti, a very productive hitter from the 9th spot in the order. As he stands in, and next delivery is fouled straight back. Janetti, a right-handed batter. Usually a pretty good fielding second baseman. He bobbled that one, but still had enough poise not to throw that ball away or at least get one out in that top part of the inning, Jim.
Yeah, Nick's hitting 307. He's had 11 runs, had 27 hits, and he's driven in 13 this season.
13 runs from that 9th spot. That's key. As Janetti waits the next delivery, up and away, wasted pitch from Duncan, makes it 1-2.
By the time most of these guys get back to the colleges, they're going to be upperclassmen. Their baseball careers are moving right along.
And the next delivery to Janetti, fouled down the third base line. Janetti stays alive. And if any of them have any aspirations of playing any kind of professional baseball, whether it be independent league or other types of leagues, it's always, we talk about it throughout the season, great to be playing with these wooden bats.
I think a lot of them have aspirations.
As Duncan with the 1-2 delivery to Janetti on the way. This one's another foul. Janetti just staying alive, spraying the ball to the left side, to the right side, just trying to get the bat on the ball and staying alive with that 1-2 count. We're in the bottom of the third inning as Alton has stranded 5 runners on base now. You can credit some of that to some great defense from Bridgeton, especially in that third inning. But they've had 2 base hits and drawn 3 walks, have not been able to score. On the other side, Bridgeton has 1 run on 3 base hits so far. As another foul off the bat of Nick Janetti.
You know, BJ, this is another one of those games that's really sailing along fast. We're less than an hour into the game, and we're already into the about to complete the third inning.
As Janetti leading things off here in the bottom of the third. Almost like a second leadoff hitter. He swings and he misses. Talk about that a lot in Major League Baseball with that 9th place hitter that some teams like, especially in the American League with the DH, they like to use a good hitter in that 9th spot, because then you get back to the top of the lineup. You have Mike Young and Monty Gibbs. As Young steps in, he's 0 for 1. But Janetti is the first out of the inning. That is the first strikeout of the game for Corey Duncan.
Young's hitting .345 in the season. He scored 20 runs, he had 29 hits, and he's driven in 8.
Well, that's what I talked about it when he led off in the bottom of the first inning. A true leadoff hitter. You mentioned .345, all the runs scored, the stolen bases 14. He really does a lot of great things from that leadoff spot. And the next delivery to Young is a called strike. That evens the count at 1. 1-1 on the leadoff, hitting Mike Young. 1 out in the inning. As Duncan working quickly, winds and fires. This one's low and in. That's one thing that always speeds the game up, Jim, as both pitchers have worked fast. Even when Johnson was in a little trouble, he had that control problem in the second inning. He still was able to move at a reasonable pace. His next delivery inside.
Sometimes you get the impression that pitchers will work out their problem, get back to the original pitcher, maybe rush in along.
So a 3-1 count on Mike Young as Duncan winds and fires. This one's blooped out to the second baseman, Colvin. Thought it was going to travel a little further, but it died before it got to the outfield, and Colvin puts it away for the second out of the inning.
So we haven't had too much action on the bases in this game, and we've had some base running errors. It's good. We've had players thrown out, getting picked off.
As Monty Gibbs will step in. From the right side, Monty drew a 1-out walk in the bottom of the first inning, but then he was picked off at first base. He stands in with 2 outs here in the Bottom of the third inning. Bridgeton leads this game 1-0. There's a 1-0 count on Gibbs. First pitch low and away. Next pitch chopped up the middle. Watson giving chase to it, ranging to the second base side. Whirls and throws, not in time. Gibbs an infield single as Watson really had to go a long ways to get to that ball and just placed the perfect spot by Gibbs for an infield single.
Yeah, he ended up playing short center field by the time he finally wrapped it up. Showed good range on that ball. He wasn't going to get the speedy runner flying down first base tonight.
As in steps Jeff Erickson, the third baseman. And first delivery to Erickson is in the dirt for ball one. As Erickson grounded out the short to end the first inning. Stands in from the right side, a powerful bat as quick throw over to first. Gibbs back in safely. As the whole Bridgeton bench helping him out there.
Duncan's got a nice move at first base. He's going to hold this runner tight.
As again, he's already picked off one runner, and that was Gibbs. Gibbs is running, and a good throw down to second base. They're going to get him, and yes, he is out at second base. A great throw down to second base from Brandon Adams. So Gibbs has been picked off, and he has been caught stealing in the first 3 innings of this game, and we have played 3 full innings in the book, and we head to the fourth with Alton coming to bat. We have a 1-0 score, Bridgeton on top.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year, and no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at webergc.com.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown! Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
And Alton comes to bat at Zach Hawkins. He looks at a strike call, then a ball. It's 1-1 to lead things off in the top of the fourth inning. Next delivery is a called ball as well. 2-1. Welcome back to Lloyd Hopkins Field in Alton. BJ Schulte, Jim Bear with you for Game 2 of the Metro Collegiate Championship Series. As Bridgeton leads the series 1-0, and they lead this game 1-0. Top of the fourth, another ball to Zach Hawkins as it's now 3-1 for the leadoff man for the Indians. 3-1 count is chopped foul. Makes the count full as Hawkins grounded out his first time up. As Hawkins waves the bat, waiting for the full count pitch from Johnson. Here it comes. This one's inside. The fourth walk of the game for Johnson. He's been fighting his control his last 2 starts, going back to game 1 of the semis. That's 9 walks in his last 8+ innings.
Yeah, for a 245 hitter, he's glad to take the walk.
As in steps Kurt Dreemeyer, the right fielder. He grounded out to the first baseman, Jesse Trask. That play went unassisted as Dreemeyer stands in from the right side, showing bunt, pulling back, snap throw down to first, not in time. Harrison nearly, well, he thought he had a chance, but not really that close of a play at first base. Trask came off the base.
Yeah, no, he brought him off the base, so there really wasn't going to be any chance to put the tag on him.
As Dreemeyer showed bunt first time on the first pitch, let's see if he does so again, as this time he is showing bunt. He misses on the bunt. Trying to move that runner up to second base. I'm sure Coach Bertramman, and thinking this is going to be a close game throughout, trying to get that tying run in scoring position.
Yeah, Trask broke all the way in to home plate, so he put the bunt down and somebody would have had to cover, or second baseman had to cover. He came in and made the play.
As the next delivery is a ball. As Johnson, 4 walks so far, including the leadoff man in this game, in this inning, Zach Hawkins, as the Dreemeyer at the plate with a 2-1 count. And the delivery is pop foul on the bunt once again, showing bunt again. As Dreemeyer, a little frustrated, couldn't get that bunt down, and the count is even at 2.
He's determined to put a bunt down.
Yes, he is, and that's important to get, of course, we just talked about it, getting that tie and run to second base. Let's see if Coach Bertram takes the bunt sign off now with 2 strikes. We'll see. As Hawkins, an average size lead at first, and delivery is a called strike 3 on Dreemeyer. First out of the inning, and that is the second, make that the 3rd strikeout for Johnson. The second backwards K for Steve Johnson so far.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with the umpire's calling that at all. He had to accept the decision and go sit down.
As the right-handed batting Kyle Shockey steps in, the third baseman. And the delivery is low and away.
Shockey's just driven in 8 runs and he's hitting just 188 on the season, so he's got his work cut out.
As Shockey stands back in with that 1-0 count. As Hawkins takes his lead from first. This one's chopped toward third. Erickson gets to it on the move. Can't get a handle on the ball. And reaching base is going to be Kyle Shockey. It's going to be the first error of the game, as good range by Erickson. Just couldn't get the ball out of his glove. So it'll be Shockey at first, moving up to second base. It's Zach Hawkins. So another chance for the Alton Indians. They've had at least 1 runner in every inning. They stranded 2 in the first, stranded 2 in the second. They had a 1-out hit in the third, stranded that runner as well. Now they have 2 runners on here in the 4th inning, trailing by a run. You just see it time and time. If you strand that many runners on base early in the game, it always comes back to haunt you. So let's see if the Alton Indians can drive one of them runs home, as Corey Deneen, the DH, steps in. He walked his first time up in the second inning. This one is a half swing, chopped foul. As Deneen, the right-handed batter, with an 0-1 count on deck, it goes back to the top of the lineup to L.J. Watson. And Johnson's next pitch is low, makes it 0-1. There's actually a correction. That's Dustin Deneen. So we had Corey Deneen. Apologies for that. Dustin Deneen, the batter, with a 1-1 count. As he comes set, does Johnson, checks on the runners, brings a 1-1 pitch to the plate. It's low and away. It's 2-1. On the 9th place, Dustin Deneen. As Johnson, the power pitcher, more than a strikeout per inning average, and 2-1 delivery on the way. This one's lined out to right field, breaking back first and then breaking in, and not able to make the running catch in right field. That's Zach Carter. He gets by Carter, but stopping at third is going to be the runner Hawkins, because he had to wait and see if the ball was going to drop. So it's going to be a bases loaded situation as Dustin Deneen reaches base. So that's a couple errors in a row. We talked about how good the defense for Bridgeton was in the previous inning.
Carter puts the error on that play. The ball really couldn't advance, but they thought it was going to be an out. They could only go up 1 base. Now we have the bases loaded. We have a huge conference on the mound. Everybody with the yellow jerseys on has reached the mound.
So the entire infield in there as Coach Reitz comes out there, and we'd like to, with this meeting on the mound, we'd like to once again tell you to check out stlcollegebaseball.com to find out all the information. That's the official website of the Metro Collegiate League. Find anything you need to know about the Metro Collegiate League. We also invite you to check out the homepage of PrepCast. All of our sponsors are listed. They're the reason why throughout the entire year, including the summer, that we get out to so many games, and we appreciate all of our sponsors for helping us do that.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of announcements coming out with our football schedule. We've got about 23 schools under contract. We've got new sponsors coming on. We'll be covering. We're going to be covering the cross country festival, the Big River Cross Country Festival, sponsored by Big River Running. September Saturday. There'll be 120 teams. It's quite an event. We added to our schedule.
And the first pitch to Watson is a strike. Just always check the web schedule throughout the year. We cover numerous different sports. As Johnson with the bases loaded really has to bear down now as Alton trying to get on the board. They trail 1-0. Again, they've stranded 5 runners on base so far. And L.J. Watson in a big spot here in the top of the 4th inning for the Alton Indians, the defending champs. They won the regular season championship last year as well as the postseason against this Bridgeton Knights squad. His next delivery catches the outside corner, makes it 1-2. But important for Johnson right here, he is a strikeout pitcher. So he's looking for the strikeout, a pop out, or ground ball as they could turn two. Johnson still working from the stretch position, brings it to the plate. This one line right to Erickson. It's going to be a double play, and Watson could not have hit the ball any harder. An unfortunate break for the Indians. They strand 2 more runners. That's 7 left on base through 4 at-bats, and we have played 3.5. Bridgeton barely hanging on, but they lead 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. You're listening to Metro Collegiate Baseball on the PrepCast.com Broadcasting Network.
Jenny Becker of Paul Lauschke and Associates is a longtime supporter of American Legion Baseball. As a veteran player in the Riverbend real estate market, Jenny has sold and closed over $3 million in 2009. Whether you are buying or selling a home, call Jenny Becker today at 465-2966 and let her hit a home run for you.
Have you ever admired the well-kept turf on a golf course and thought, I wish my lawn looked like that? Well, now it can, and it's not too early to start planning for a beautiful lawn this summer. Led by one of only a few certified golf course superintendents in the region, we've been providing quality turf for over 20 years, and our experience in the industry is why our results are second to none. Call today to schedule your free lawn care analysis. The Greenskeeper Lawn Service. You do the watering, we'll do the rest.
So far, Bridgeton has 1 run on 4 hits, 2 errors. Alton, no runs on 2 hits and no errors. So they've had all those base runners, but most of them have been because of walks and errors. There were 2 errors in that last inning by the Bridgeton defense, as there's a called strike to Erickson, the 3rd place hitter. Jeff Erickson steps in. He's 0 for 1 so far as we play here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
I don't know if you noticed, but Cody Terry didn't give any ground at all. He played his normal shortstop depth looking for the double play. He was not playing in for a play at all. So the defense paid off for Henry's squad.
And Duncan, who is pitching very well, as Erickson hits a ground ball, takes a terrible hop, and it comes up and bounces off the left shoulder of L.J. Watson for a base hit or an error as Erickson reaches, but Watson was in perfect fielding position, and then, like I said, it bounced off his shoulder, so that tells you how bad of a hop that took on L.J. Watson. So he's had one tough 4th inning, hit the line drive, unfortunate, and then he gets a bad hop right there for a leadoff base hit for Erickson.
Yeah, that's playing hard luck. That's practically an injury error. You can get hurt on something. That ball was spanked like a rock.
And I mean, what can you really do in that situation? He tried to get his body in front of it, but it bounced up so high. So we'll wait for the official score, base hit or an error. We'll call it a hit. A hit for Erickson. As we mentioned, it was a bad hop. So runner on first base, that's a 5th hit of the game for the Bridgeton Knights. They've left runners on base today as well. They have left, 1 runner on base because they've had 2 runners lost on the bases. Monty Gibbs has been picked off and caught stealing. And there goes another runner, and Terry protecting the runner, hits to the right side. Colvin gives chase, throws across his body. Great play by Colvin at second base. He had to cover a lot of ground because Erickson was moving on the pitch. A little hit and run. It was a slowly hit ball, and Terry, a fast runner, was thrown out at first by Jordan Colvin. Great play.
He had a great protective swing. The runner was going, so he just slapped the bat at it and put it out there, and he almost beat it out.
Yes. In steps Zach Carter. He singled in the 2nd inning, 1 for 1 so far as open stance, and this one is lined toward the left side, past the diving L.J. Watson. Kenny reaches to go around, give the runner the go sign. Erickson to throw to the plate. It is not in time. It goes off the catcher's glove as the catcher could not handle the throw. Brandon Adams, the run scores. RBI hit for Zach Carter on a line drive to left field as an aggressive coaching move there by Kenny Reitz as the play was right in front of him. Hard hit, but the runner's safe.
Actually, he had the out at the plate. The ball was ahead of the runner, but he couldn't apply the tag. The ball got away from the catcher.
And it was a short hop, and all at once the catcher Brandon Adams trying to catch the short hop, as well as a runner bearing down on him, and just couldn't hang on as in steps Ricky Masson, the DH. So an RBI hit for Zach Carter. The RBIs here today as Jesse Trask had an RBI single, and now Zach Carter with an RBI hit as Masson steps in, and on the throw to the plate, Zach Carter moved up to second base, so now he's in scoring position.
And with that Zach Carter is 6 for 13 in the playoffs, and that was a key RBI for him.
As this one is lined out to left field, and the left fielder is going to make the play as Derek Mateos hit right to him and just had to take a couple of steps in for the second out of the inning.
And in steps number 20, Tyler Harrison back in the correct order.
So, in fact, we had the right lineup as Jesse Trask picked up that RBI, but he was batting in the 7th spot, so now Harrison bats in the 7th spot, and Jesse Trask back to his original 8th spot in the order.
How do you suppose about 30 people in this field didn't catch that?
Well, especially you would expect your scorekeeper, but they were not able to catch that last time up.
I would expect the Indians to have caught that. They could have picked up an out just by knowing he was batting out of order.
And it would have prevented a run because it ended up being an RBI hit as Harrison taps this one foul.
These solo runs are starting to look pretty big now as we move into the 4th inning, and Bridgeton got a 2-0 lead.
Well, and Johnson's the type of pitcher that does get stronger as the game will move along. Power pitcher, as he's a pitcher that will go deep into games. As Duncan lines this one, or his pitch is from Harris to Harrison is lined down the first base line. Foul makes it 0-2. Tyler Harrison, the catcher.
BJ, we've been a lot of places, but the combinations here are really spectacular for the working press. We got a press box, we got workstations, we got TV monitors. This is like the big leagues.
Great facility here, Lloyd Hopkins Field, and in fact, in 2000 they hosted the National Legion World Series.
And Gordon Moore Park.
And the next delivery is a swing and a miss, and Harrison strikes out to end the 4th inning. Bridgeton picks up one more run on 2 base hits. They now have 2 runs on 6 hits, and after 4 full innings in the book, it's 2-0. Bridgeton leads this one. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll come back with 5th inning action.
Have you outgrown your home, or has your home outgrown you? If it's time for a change, call Matt Horn, the agent who was voted Madison County's #1 realtor. Most of Matt Horn's listings and sales come from referrals from satisfied customers. Call Matt Horn of Landmark Realty today for a free market analysis of your home. Call Matt Horn today at 560-8201 and put a top real estate professional in charge of all your real estate needs.
What do I have to do to sell you a car?
Roberts Motors, easy to get to, just off Highway 67 or Highway 3 in Alton.
And you can always shoot me an email. Go to the homepage of PrepCast, click on Email Us Live, and click on my name, BJ Schulte. Tell us where you're listening from. I'll read that email live on the air as Conway leads off and chops this one foul down the third baseline, just foul for strike number 1 as run away here in the 5th inning. And earlier we had an email from LL Tolliver asking if we would be making the trip to Toledo, and unfortunately we will not be making the trip to Toledo. Of course, the winner of this game moves on to the National World Series for the Metro Collegiate League as Conway lines this one out to right center field. It's going to get down and right center all the way to the Conway has great speed round first. He's going to stop at second base. A strong throw from right center field, and Conway leading off didn't want to take the chance of being thrown out at third base, and Conway continues his outstanding hit, and he's now 2 out of 3 with a single and a double.
Yeah, 2 out of 3, and that was a crowd pleaser. They got the fans on their feet. They was a very decidedly one-sided fans, obviously, for all of them here in Illinois, but they were happy with that double. And you might have had a chance of going out 3, but you don't want to get thrown out.
And Conway has some power hit a 13th inning home run in the semifinal series to win a game against Baldwin. And right there, shot one to deep right center field. And the right fielder, Zach Carter, couldn't track it down, so runner in scoring position with nobody out. And in steps Jordan Colvin as the pitch is up and away for strike one. And just Alton has to break through. They had bases loaded, one out, unfortunate line drive last inning, but we keep mentioning it. But that's really become the storyline, is all the runners left on base from Alton. As Colvin from the left side, the second baseman, made a couple nice defensive plays here today, has great range. He played shortstop for the championship team last year for Alton, so he's very experienced up the middle.
Yeah, Joe Berkelman fires he gets a single down in a third base line. You got something cooking here.
There's a 2-0 count on Colvin. The delivery is in the dirt. As that hit by Conway was just the third hit of the game. But 4 walks and 2 errors have allowed Alton to have runners on base in every inning as we play in the top of the 5th. As Colvin has a 3-0 count with Brandon Adams, the cleanup hitting catcher, on deck. And Colvin's going to look at this one, and it's low and in. The 5th walk of the game for Steve Johnson. And here comes Kenny Reitz, and it looks like that is going to be it for Steve Johnson.
Yeah, he's got somebody coming in from the sideline. We don't have a number on him, but we'll get it as soon as we get it. We'll give it to you.
And we'll get that new pitcher. We'll tell you a little bit about the new pitcher after we take a timeout. As Kenny Reitz removes Steve Johnson, he goes 4+ innings. As we'll have that line score for Johnson. But we're going to take a timeout and come back and have some information for you on the new pitcher. As you are listening to Metro Collegiate Baseball on the PrepCast.com Broadcasting Network.
Make life easy for yourself at the United Methodist Village.
With no more stairs and no more home upkeep in a spacious apartment or villa home. With no upfront endowment and just one monthly fee, you stay in control of your finances. Now that's easy and smart. Countryside living that is fun, neighborly, and only minutes from the Clark Bridge. The United Methodist Village, where living is easy.
I only wish I'd have moved here sooner.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year. And no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at webergc.com.
All right, so Worrell, the new pitcher, with first and second, nobody out. Here in the top of the 5th inning, Brandon Adams, a right-handed hitter, open stance, will work against Worrell as he shows bunt, pulls back, and the pitch is high. 4-1. And so all the base runners for Alton, even though Johnson has not let up a run, as Jim mentioned, Coach Reitz removes him from the game as Worrell comes into a tight spot in the 5th inning. Working from the stretch position down at second base, it's Merrick Conway. He doubled this, showing bunt again. Adams, this pitch up top. The runner at first is Colvin. So Johnson goes 4 innings. He lets up 3 hits, walks 5. He has not allowed a base runner to cross yet, but those 2 runners on base are his runners. He's responsible for. He had 3 strikeouts as well.
Yeah, he's responsible for both these base runners, so that will close out the line on Steve Johnson.
And the next pitch is right down the middle. Adams was not showing bunt that time. Makes it 2-1 as the pitch was right down the middle. And Worrell looks in to Tyler Harrison. He comes set. Now showing bunt again as Adams to bunt down to third. Erickson is going to field it. His only play is going to be to first base, and the tying run moves up to second base. Excellent job by Brandon Adams getting the sacrifice bunt down. Conway to third. Colvin to second. And now a little base hit could tie this game up as Bridgeton with that 2-run lead.
Yeah, Jared Mateus steps in there, and he's the man of the hour now. He has a chance to tie it up for Alton.
And so Worrell, with 2 runners in scoring position, he has a base open, but Derek Mateus steps in. He struck out looking in the first, grounded out the shortstop in the third. He bats in the 5th, and a big spot for Alton. And we have a balk. Yes, it is a balk. Second base umpire called the balk. And Worrell wants an explanation, but he's not going to get one as he looks to the sideline, the dugout, and here comes Coach Kenny Reitz, and that's going to score a run. Alton will take it any way they can get it, though. As many runners they've stranded, they were able to get a run across after a balk is called.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a cheap run. What are you going to do? Derek Matea's a 274 hitter, and he's driven in 12 runs, so I guess he gets credit. Did he get credit for that RBI on this?
I don't think so. We can check the official rule book on that, but I don't think so.
We have to check the rule book on that. Probably just that.
No, I don't think so. As Reitz is now going to talk to Jacob Worrell with Tyler Harrison, the catcher, in on the play as well. As that makes the score 2-1, as still nobody out in the inning. One out in the inning, I'm sorry, with the sacrifice bunt. One out in the inning, and Colvin on the balk moves up to third base. So now one run across, it's 2-1.
Well, we went to the commissioner for the official ruling, and there's no RBI.
I didn't think so. As Derek Matea, 0 for 2, just looking for a sac fly. Sac fly would tie the game up. Looks at the first pitch outside, makes it 1-0. As Zach Hawkins, the first baseman, on deck. You call it again? You call the balk again? That's going to tie the game. 2 straight balks on Jacob Worrell, and we're all tied up.
What is he doing
Well, and I've never seen 2 balks in the same inning, especially with 2 runs scoring, but it looked like he was moving that right side of his body as the next delivery is up high for ball 2. So we are tied up at 2. 2 balks in the inning, so Merrick Conway has scored in baseman, and the delivery is up and in.
I give Worrell some credit. He's still maintaining his composure out there. If he can get Hawkins out, he's out of the inning. It's a tie game.
And the next pitch is popped up in the air. Right side, Trask camping underneath, but in foul territory, makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. 2 runs cross, 1 hit in the inning. Both runs score on a balk, and we're all tied up at 2 halfway through this one. We have played 4.5, and we are all tied up at 2 in Game 2 of the Championship Series in the Metro Collegiate League. We'll take a timeout, and we'll come right back on the PrepCast Broadcasting Network.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown! Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
We're defined by what we pass on to the next generation. The ConocoPhillips Wood River Refinery is a proud neighbor of the Riverbend region. Their employees produce and distribute quality refined products throughout the Midwest in an environmentally safe manner. By using innovative refining processes, they are ready to meet the energy challenges of the future, so we can pass on what matters most to the ones who matter most. ConocoPhillips, energy for tomorrow.
Facility here at Gordon Moore Park for Game 2 of the Metro Collegiate Championship Series. We have a tie score, 2-2. Bridgeton picked up 1 run in the 2nd inning, 1 run in the 4th inning, bottom part of the inning, as Bridgeton, the home team here tonight. Alton picks up 2 runs in the top of the 5th inning, both scoring on a balk, as it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Bridgeton. Jesse Trask, Nick Giannetti, and Mike Young working against Corey Duncan, as this pitch is popped up, and Duncan's going to take the play himself for out number 1. So Duncan with the put out to start the inning off, and in steps Nick Giannetti, the second baseman. He struck out in the 3rd inning, his first plate appearance.
That was probably a teachable moment for Ken Reitz. I'm sure he's had a discussion with Jacob Worrell. They don't see what balks he's seeing.
And Giannetti steps in from the right side and looks at a strike called. As Giannetti plays a good second base, mentioned that throughout the season and throughout the playoffs as he fouls this one off. off the mid of the catcher, Brandon Adams, is now an 0-2 count with Mike Young on deck. Thanks for tuning in here on the PrepCast Broadcasting Network. As a reminder that Game 3 is tomorrow at 7:30 from the Ball One Athletic Association. So come on back tomorrow night. Will the series be tied, or will it be a 2-0 commanding lead for the Bridgeton Knights?
We don't know.
Don't know yet. Tie game as Janetti looks at a 1-2 pitch, 2 straight balls up in the zone, makes it 2-2. His next delivery is outside, and in a tie game, who makes the fewest mistakes? As we've had 2 errors in the game.
Bridgeton will be glad they're voting last tonight.
Bridgeton, the home team, even so far. And the 1-0 delivery on the way from Duncan. This one is grounded right side. Hawkins is going to flip the ball to Duncan. Close play at first, and out at first base. Young, is hustling down the line. Just was beaten out as the play goes 3-1. Good play right there to end the 5th inning. 1-2-3. Duncan, a very efficient inning, and we go to the 6th inning. We're all tied up at 2 here. Game 2, Metro Collegiate Championship Series on the PrepCast Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, my hairstylist is like family. When pool water turned my hair green, she came over right away. Now that kind of commitment is a lot like my American family insurance agent. When our washing machine flooded the basement, my agent showed up wearing knee-high rubber boots. My agent understands that the ultimate coverage isn't a piece of paper, it's peace of mind. American Family Insurance, the family you choose.
American Family Insurance.
Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
Jenny Becker of Paul Lauschke and Associates is a longtime supporter of American Legion Baseball. As a veteran player in the Riverbend real estate market, Jenny has sold and closed over $3 million in 2009. Whether you are buying or selling a home, call Jenny Becker today at 465-2966 and let her hit a home run for you.
Swinging and missing at the first delivery from it's Kurt Driemeyer. As Driemeyer 0 for 2 so far, grounded out to first and struck out. Stands in for the third. And this one does hit Driemeyer, but it looks like the umpire is going to say that he leaned into it. That's what it looks like. So it's just a ball, so he leaned into it. You remember that first delivery, and that's something that, especially at the major league level, you'd never see the home plate umpire, but he leaned into it, so a correct call by the umpire, and it's a 1-2 count on Driemeyer. And the next delivery is chopped foul. Count remains at 1-2. And the previous pitch before he did that, he thought the ball was going to hit him, but it dropped in for a strike.
Don't forget, tomorrow night, Game 3, the playoff continues at Baldwin. Start time at 7:30. Matt Chapman from Tim Miller will be on the call, so listen now or listen later. Come on out to Baldwin or listen on the PrepCast.com.
And this one is chopped toward the left side. Gets through the hole past the diving Jeff Erickson. Leadoff base hit for Kurt Driemeyer. And Alton, they tied it up in the 5th inning. Now they have a leadoff runner on base as well with their 4th hit of the game. As in steps Kyle Shockey, the third baseman. He has reached base both times without a hit. He walked in the 2nd, reached on an error in the 4th inning. And let's see if they want to bunt. Would be a good spot, bottom portion of the lineup. 8th place hitter Kyle Shockey. Average lead for Driemeyer at first base. Not moving. Bunt shown and a called strike. So Alton with a tie score. We're getting close to the late innings here in the top of the 6th inning, and this has been a low-scoring game, so each run very, very important. So we've seen both teams show bunt here tonight. As Brandon Adams dropped down a successful bunt in the 5th inning, and that allowed already for Alton a productive bunt in this game as the 0-1 count, a check on the runner. Now the next delivery, and bunting it foul is Shockey.
And Alton scored 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors. While Bridgeton has 2 runs on 6 hits. That's the last one of the 2 teams as we get into the 6th inning.
And those 2 errors were on back-to-back plays, but it did not harm the Knights, because bases were loaded with one out, and then L.J. Watson hit a screamer to the third baseman, Jeff Erickson, right to him, turned into a double play. So all the runs earned so far, as with an 0-2 count on Shockey. Worrell checks on the runner, brings it to the plate, still showing bunt with the 0-2 count. Breaking pitch gets away from Worrell, way up high for ball one.
You know, when a guy squats like that, he spurs the bunt. It's kind of hard to figure out what the target is at that point. I think it's hard for a pitcher to throw. The guy's in a very supportive position.
Dreemeyer at first has a big lead at first base. Good size, not running, showing bunt again. Shockey gets the bunt down with 2 strikes. Worrell's going to make the play, and out at first base, covering the first and new second baseman Helton for out number 1. So 2 consecutive innings. The Alton Indians playing fundamental ball, getting the bunt down, moving runners into scoring position.
It wasn't a very graceful throw by Worrell over first, but got the job done. He almost Statue of Liberty.
But got the job done, like you said, and a runner at second is Kurt Dreemeyer, as Dustin Deneen, actually not Dustin Deneen, it's number 24 for Alton's.
It's Dustin Deneen.
Okay, Dustin Deneen, I had on the lineup card, it was number 10 as for Dustin Deneen, as okay, I just wrote it down wrong. I had the pitcher Duncan right below the 9th place hitter, as Dustin Deneen, DHing for Duncan, is up at the plate with a 1-0 count. As Worrell winds and fires. This one's popped a mile high, as Harrison giving chase behind home plate. He's got to run out of room. 4 strike number 1, 1-1 on Deneen, with L.J. Watson on deck. He's the leadoff hitter here tonight for the Indians.
Yeah, he played right out of room there. Chasing straight back to the screen behind home plate.
And he got help from his teammates right away, too, which is always important for a catcher with that mask on. It's hard to pick up the ball sometimes. His teammates immediately helping him out, but just not enough room. As there's a swing and a miss on a pitch up and away. Good delivery from Worrell. As 1 1/3 innings of relief so far for Worrell, as again Steve Johnson went 4 innings, allowed the 2 runs that scored on the balk were actually his runners, so he allowed both runs so far. As this one is blooped to the right side. Helton is going to make the catch, spin, and throw to second. Not in time for the double play, as Deneen hits a humpback liner to second base for the second out of the inning.
You know, I give a lot of credit to Alton. They beat 16-5 to get a hold of their 10s, but they've done anything but that. They struggle back to a 2-2. You got to put it behind you and move on.
And Watson was in a big spot last time, hit the ball as hard as he could, but right at the third baseman for a line drive double play. The 0-1 pitch to Watson is low, and Watson comes up in another key spot before Alton with a runner at second base and 2 outs in the inning. Those 2-out base hits always so important. And getting to the latter stage of the game here in the 6th, it could mean the game. As Watson waves the bat, open stance. Worrell checking on the runner, takes his time. Now he brings it to the plate. This one's in the dirt. 2-1. As Alton, the defending champs. Last year Alton was 27-6, ran away with the Metro Collegiate League. Last year in the semis they beat Clayton, and then they beat this Bridgeton team to win the championship last year and move on to Toledo, as Watson with the 2-1 delivery from Worrell. Another breaking pitch off the inside corner of the plate. And that breaking pitch from Worrell, he likes to work on the inside part, because we see a lot of these hitters is spinning away, and Dreemeyer actually spun away from a ball that dropped right into the strike zone.
If you look ahead to Game 3, I think you're going to see either Joey Jivas or
and Jivas was outstanding in Game 2. As
James Denton, one of those two, they're in good shape for pitching for Game 3.
Yep, I was at BMAC on Thursday night, and Jivas threw 8 1/3 innings, was outstanding for Alton when they were able to sweep Baldwin in that 4-3 victory. Jivas picked up the victory. Had a little trouble with his command, as the 3-2 pitch all the way. Runner moving, and they're going to throw down to third base. They have a chance, and the ball gets away through the legs of Erickson, and coming around to score is going to be Dreemeyer, and that was a mistake by Dreemeyer. I think he thought there was a runner behind him there, Jim, because there's no reason to run right there. with the base still open to the walk, and the runner stays at first base, but the run scores. So the third error of the game on Bridgeton.
Home fans, no praise about that. Looking at the pitching for Bridgeton, looks like Sam Cutson might get the call. Mike Oliveri could be just about anybody. Cody Blanc, he didn't pitch the other night.
As there, Watson is moving. He's trying to steal a base, and Harrison can't come up with a stolen base for Watson. And on that last run scored for Alton, credit Dreemeyer with a stolen base, and then the throw down, he scores on the air. And now another stolen base as Watson puts himself in scoring position.
I know one prediction. You'll see a little conference in the Bridgeton dugout after this.
It's checking on the runner at second base. Watson, a big old lead out there at second. Next delivery to Conway is a ball, 2-0. And this is a guy that, with a base open, I wouldn't be surprised if he draws a walk. 2 out of 3 tonight. Now 8 out of 15 in the playoffs, and 6 out of 7 in the championship series so far. He's on fire. And he has a 2-0 count. Delivery is fouled straight back. He had a pitch to hit.
Boy, he's a tough out, isn't he?
He's been the toughest out of anybody.
3-13, driving in 13 runs.
And again, worth mentioning his defense. He's thrown out a couple of runners at home plate from his center field position, as that Cannon for a throwing arm.
There's another guy that I think you're the MVP choice.
As Conway waits for the delivery and swing and a miss. Makes it 2-2. Worrell has battled back. He was behind 2-0 in the count, but a foul ball and a swing and a miss by Merrick Conway. Again, he singled in the first inning, grounded out in the third, then he led off the fifth with double. The inning that Alton was able to score 2 runs to tie things up at 2, and then one more here in the 6th inning. As Worrell comes set, 2-2 delivery on the way. It's up top for a full count. And Jim, you think about the ways that Alton has scored: 2 runs on a balk, 2 separate balks, and then they score on a 3-2 pitch when the runner is in motion when he really wasn't supposed to be running the third, and the throw gets away.
Well, if you're right, the Alton Telegraph, you'd say they were opportunistic. That'd be the headline.
As Conway trying to take advantage of a situation. And next delivery is called strike 3. Conway thought it was off the edge of the plate. Says a little something to home plate umpire, but it's a backwards K. And Alton takes the lead here in the 6th inning. They trail 2-0. They've come back to take the lead 3-2 after 5.5 innings. And Jim, you're exactly right. There's going to be a little meeting outside the dugout there for Bridgeton. Talk things over as fundamental baseball is what Kenny Reitz is going to be talking about here as we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Alton now has the lead 3-2 here on the PrepCast Broadcasting Network.
Have you ever admired the well-kept turf on a golf course and thought, I wish my lawn looked like that? Well, now it can, and it's not too early to start planning for a beautiful lawn this summer. Led by one of only a few certified golf course superintendents in the region, we've been providing quality turf for over 20 years, and our experience in the industry is why our results are second to none. Call today to schedule your free lawn care analysis. The Greenskeeper Lawn Service. You do the watering, we'll do the rest. Have you outgrown your home, or has your home outgrown you? If it's time for a change, call Matt Horn, the agent who was voted Madison County's #1 realtor. Most of Matt Horn's listings and sales come from referrals from satisfied customers. Call Matt Horn of Landmark Realty today for a free market analysis of your home. Call Matt Horn today at 560-8201 and put a top real estate professional in charge of all your real estate needs.
Bottom of the 6th inning, they now trail for the first time in this game, and is stepping in for the Bridgeton Knights. It's Monty Gibbs, the second place hitter. He looks at a ball. Next delivery from Duncan on the way, and it's ball 2.
Yeah, we need to mic up, wire up Ken Reitz, because I was wondering what he said to his team. They had an animated conversation down there.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
You know, he doesn't suffer silently. He works very closely with his kids. It's teach all the time.
Well, I'm sure he has plenty to teach. We talked to everybody. It's a Cardinal fan, recognizes that name. He was in the big leagues for 10 years. As Gibbs chops this one short. It's going to be a tough play. And Watson makes the play across and safe at first base as The third baseman looked like Shockey was going to try and make the play, but ranging far to his left went underneath his glove. Watson made the play on the run. Looked like the home plate umpire first acted like he was going to call him out, then called him safe. So an infield single. We've seen a bunch of infield singles in this game. And Monty Gibbs using his speed, and you mentioned earlier in the game, Jim, he is tied with Mike Young for the team lead in steals with 14. So let's see if Reitz wants to put Gibbs in motion, maybe a hit and run. Erickson has a good bat.
I know Ken Reitz is going to be going, I believe, to the major leagues next year, so he left the can out of the bag, but he wouldn't tell us where or what. There will be some announcement coming out after the season when he's moving on to some professional opportunity. I'm sure it's something he's really covered. Very hard to get.
As at the plate, Erickson Gibbs not running, chops it right back to the pitcher. Duncan spins, throws across to Watson, across the first, and a double play. 1-6-3. Nice job by Duncan to field his position. He didn't rush the throw, and Watson has a very strong throwing arm, throws across the first. So runner not in motion allows the Alton Indians to turn a double play.
Well, if the fans didn't hear it at home, we certainly did. There was a big roar will go up from the Alton home crowd here. They're very, very pleased with that performance. Bang, 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 double play that they pulled off.
And what makes that even more important is this hitter right here, Terry, who hits one sharply to the first baseman, but Zach Hawkins going to play it unassisted. And after a good start to the inning for Bridgeton, it ends quickly with a double play and then the ground out from Cody Terry. No runs, one hit, nobody left in the sixth for Bridgeton. And we have played 6 full innings, and Alton on top. 3-2, you're listening to Game 2 of the Metro Collegiate Championship Series. And we'll be right back on the PrepCast Broadcasting Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're now approaching the island of Bora Bora. Enjoy your stay.
This beautiful home contains 8 bedrooms, 2 family rooms, and a private jacuzzi just off the master bedroom.
Hey, anybody up for a cruise in my sweet boat?
What are you going to do with all the money you save from buying your car at Roberts Motors?
Roberts Motors in Alton or online at robertsmotors.com.
Make life easy for yourself at the United Methodist Village.
With no more stairs and no more home upkeep in a spacious apartment or villa home, with no upfront endowment and just one monthly fee, you stay in control of your finances. Now that's easy and smart. Countryside living that is fun, neighborly, and only minutes from the Clark Bridge. The United Methodist Village, where living is easy.
I only wish I'd have moved here sooner.
To the 7th inning here at Lloyd Hopkins Field in Alton. BJ Schulte, Jim Bear with you here on the PrepCast Broadcasting Network. Alton leads Bridgeton 3-2 in this Game 2 of the Championship Series, and we have a new pitcher for Bridgeton. It will be the third pitcher of the game. Steve Johnson pitched 4 innings, allowed 2 runs. Jacob Worrell pitched 2 innings in relief, let up 1 run, and now it's Mark Davidson. And taking a look at his numbers, here's Jim.
He's 2-0. 0.00 ERA, so 2 hits, and that's the lineup. So they're perfect this season. Opportunities have been on the ground for Bridgeton. A righty.
As the lefty Davidson. Lefty Davidson going to be facing the leadoff hitter, who is a lefty, Jordan Colvin, the second baseman. He is 1 for 2. He's also drawn a walk and scored a run. He was one of the base runners that scored on a balk, the second balk of that inning by Jacob Worrell. In case you're just tuning in, Alton leads 3-2. Their first 2 runs were scored on back-to-back balks, the third one on a throwing error. And Davidson quickly ahead, 0-2 on Jordan Colvin. So lefty, of course, coming out of the pen, throwing strikes right away, always a good sign.
Yeah, it's the first left-hander we've seen in the game tonight.
And the 0-2 pitch on the way, took a little off this one. This one's fouled down the left field side and out of play. So staying alive, Jordan Colvin. Jordan Colvin will be followed by Brandon Adams and Derek Matea here in the top of the 7th inning. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for Alton. 2 runs on 7 hits, 3 errors for Bridgeton.
And whatever they say about the 16-5 game last night, this has been a really close defensive struggle tonight.
And Davidson's next pitch up and in. Makes it 1-2. Yeah, really credit Corey Duncan. He's pitched a very good game. He scattered those 7 hits throughout his 6 innings of work. Allowed 1 run in the second, 1 in the fourth, as Davidson As we're back to live action, looks at, sends in ball 2 to Jordan Colvin.
Davidson's a 6-footer, 220 pounds, and another hurler from Westminster College in Colton, Missouri.
As Colvin grounded out the short in the first, singled in the third, walked and scored in the fifth, looks at a 2-2 pitch coming in and flies it out to left field. Camping underneath with the left fielder Monty Gibbs makes the play for out number 1 here in the top of the 7th inning. In steps Brandon Adams. Adams put down a perfect bunt back in the 5th inning that allowed Conway and Colvin to move up to 2nd and 3rd. They came around the score, so that was a big play in this game. Only one official at bat as he walked in the first and grounded out in the 3rd inning. Open stance against the lefty Davidson. Davidson working from the stretch position even though there's nobody on base, as brings it to the plate and a called strike. And a lot of times relievers will do that, Jim, work exclusively in the stretch position.
Yeah, they do. It's very interesting. It's the only way they know. They never take the full windup with nobody on base. I've seen a lot of that lately.
Well, and that, you hear talk about when a starting pitcher is moving right along in the game and goes to the stretch position for a first time. At times it does throw a starting pitcher off, so just avoiding that. The relievers sometimes just go from the stretch, as Davidson.
You just go with what you know best.
That's right, as 1-1 pitch is flied out to right field, and the catch is going to be made out there by Zach Carter for the 2nd out of the inning. 2 fly balls for Davidson to start off the 7th inning, and in steps Derek Matea, the left fielder. He's 0 for 3.
He can entice those kind of easy outs. I can't say pitch off the stretch forever.
So Davidson with the 2 fly ball outs and 2 quick outs, as Alton will try and get something going with 2 outs. I'm sure they're not comfortable with that 3-2 lead. They need to tack on, as they have scored 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, as pitch inside for ball 1 to Matea. If he can reach Zach Hawkins, the first baseman, on deck. As Davidson looks in, reading signs to Harrison. Now he has a sign, comes set, brings it to the plate, and a called strike.
Well, he's breaking up a beautiful curveball that just moves away from that batter. He had that batter leaning back, and then it stretched out over the outside part of the plate.
And a 1-1 delivery on the way. This one is flied out to right field as well. Carter moving to his left and backpedals a little bit, makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. 3 fly ball outs in the 7th inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Alton Indians, and 7th inning stretch time, and Alton leads this one 3-2.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year. And no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at webergc.com.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown! Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
Bridgeton looking to try and even things up as they trail 3-2 in this game, but they do lead the series 1-0. They won 16-5 yesterday. They trail this one 3-2 as Zach Carter steps in, and we have a lineup fielding correction to make, as the second baseman for Bridgeton in the last couple innings has in fact been Carter. And in right field, Helton entered the game and he's playing right field. They took Janetti out, but we put Helton at second base, but actually Helton went out to right, and Carter moved in from right field to second base, as the leadoff hitter is Zach Carter, the second baseman. Now he plays all over the place for this Bridgeton team. I've seen him play third, right, second, and catcher.
Yeah, he came into the series in a red hot day at 4 for 5. He had a double, base and balls for runs, RBI, stolen base. In the series, postseason plays 5 for 12, scored 3 runs, and he's had a couple of ribbies, so he's a hustler.
As waving the bat, Carter with the 1-1 count. Slightly open stance as the 1-1 pitch on the way. Half swing, and he went around. Home plate umpire doesn't even appeal. It was obvious that he went around. So 1-2. As Duncan continues to really throw a good ball game. Scattered those 7 hits, mentioned that, but Alton leads this one 3-2, and we're in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Started to get late for Bridgeton.
So Carter
against Clayton, and they went on an uprising and knocked off the top team in the league.
That's right. They trailed 6-0 going to the 8th inning.
Ended up winning 8-7. Phenomenal finish. Wild and war game.
And that's really what has pushed them to be in this championship series, as the next pitch is tapped off the foot of Carter. Yes, it does, and he's going to walk it off right now. And talking about the momentum after that inning, they came back the next night and beat Clayton 4-0, and then they hit the ball so well yesterday, scoring those 16 runs. So, those first 7 innings since then of this playoffs, they've just been clearly the best team. And
They find themselves, they may be tied up going into game 3.
And the next pitch is low, with Alton. Alton really has had most of the opportunities. They didn't take advantage of all of them with Steve Johnson in there with all the walks and the errors, but they were able to scratch a couple runs here and there, and they lead 3-2. His next delivery, Carter is jammed. It gets out to left field. It's going to drop in between the left fielder and shortstop. Watson was going out. Mateo coming in. It bounces right in between them. 8th hit of the game for the Bridgeton Knights, and it's a leadoff single for Zach Carter, and in steps Ricky Masson.
Yeah, if you've lived long enough, they call that a Texas swinger. Over the outstretched hands of the infielder and feet of the outfielder.
And he was actually jammed. A good location from Duncan, but
Maybe somebody can email us and tell us whether the Texas League or
and it's Duncan. The runner is moving, and a swing and a miss, and protecting the runner. Is it a foul ball or a swing and a miss? They're going to give him the base.
Great effort.
So Carter able to get the stolen base. Nice job by Masson, and not really a good pitch for the hitter, but really went out of the zone to protect the tying run. The tying run moves up to second base with Tyler Harrison, the on-deck hitter. Nobody out in the inning. So now no need for a bunt. You have the next 3 hitters can swing away trying to score that tying run. As now showing bunt, they will show a bunt. Well, they could bunt the runner to third, and then you'd have an opportunity at a sac fly, wild pitch, pass ball, whatever.
Yeah, I think Zach. Balk. I think Zach would trade in all those great statistics for being able to score the tying run in this game. Still, it always will remain a team game.
As it's 1-1 on Masson, the DH, showing bunt. And he does bunt it. It's a good bunt. It's going to go right back to the pitcher, Duncan. Only play at first. Doesn't even look at the runner. Perfect bunt by Ricky Masson, as we've seen both teams execute bunts here tonight, and that tying run moves up to third. So instead of trying to drive him home, you do move the runner up to third. So now any fly ball, the deep outfield can tie the score with Tyler Harrison stepping in.
And Tyler Harrison has played a very limited role for Bridgeton, so he's almost without statistics. But I'm sure that's not going to stop him from trying to tie this game up. He is hitting .225 on the season. He's had just 2 RBIs. This RBI number 3 would be the biggest one of the year for him.
Just looking to make contact as he chops this one down to third, and it's a foul ball as a third baseman tried to make a play on it. That's Kyle Shockey. Just went foul, and the runner Carter started to go. Then he figured if that ball is fair, he's in no man's land. Started to go back, but fortunate for him, it was foul.
Yeah, he's having a little discretion with Ken Reitz, but that's sort of the cow was out of the barn there. I don't think he kind of caught himself in no man's land. Didn't know if he's coming down the line or going back to the base.
Yeah, was he going on contact or not? I'm not sure if he knew right there. As with the 0-1 count on Harrison. Harrison trying to hit a fly ball as this one is in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher, streaking down the line. Carter, and he's going to be safe easily, and we have a tie score. And both teams have scored some runs on errors and balks and wild pitches, but we're all tied up at 3. It's been a very competitive game, but the teams not really scoring on base hits, but we're all tied up at 3.
No, you said exactly what I was going to say. It's all these runners are coming on balks and quirky stuff. It's not coming on the traditional RBI singles or doubles. But they all count the same. They all look the same in the scorebook.
Yeah, we're in for a great finish here, and there Harrison is going to be hit by the pitch. Looked like it just got his jersey as he trots down the first base, and this is the 7th inning of work for the pitcher, Duncan. So a wild pitch, and he hits a batter. You got to wonder if Alton wants to get somebody loosened, as Harrison, the catcher, is going to get a courtesy runner.
I think it hit the third button down on his shirt. That's about it. But he still was hit by the pitch.
And I thought I seen number 9 on the jersey for the courtesy runner, and that's Mike Oliveri, the starting pitcher yesterday. And he did pinch run in the semis, so that's a very good chance that was number 9. We'll confirm that with the base runner at first.
Well, less than 2 outs. You want a pinch runner in the game.
And this one's chopped up the middle. It's going to go off of Coleman and go into center field. Took a bad hop on him. He didn't really get down on the ball, and the runner is going to move all the way up to third base. And that's Oliveri going to third, the courtesy runner, and Trask reaching base.
And the ruling on that one is
an error.
Tough one.
On Jordan Coleman, the second baseman. That's the first error of the game on Alton, so now a great opportunity for Bridgeton to take the lead. They led once 2-0. Alton tied it up at 2, took the lead 3-2.
Now all of a sudden Mike Helton becomes the man of the hour.
As Helton steps in, he looks at a ball in the dirt low and away. Runner cannot advance. That's Zach Helton. First baseman, pitcher, and playing right field right now. Actually, he pitched 3 innings of relief yesterday, Jim, after Oliveri went 5. Helton.
Yeah, he plays all over the field.
Pitched 3, and Bridgeton has a couple of players like that can play all over the place, and it always makes you much more useful to a team when you can play multiple positions. He looks at another ball, makes it 2-0, and it looks like Duncan is wearing down just a little bit, losing his control just a bit here in the inning.
Wouldn't that be something if there was the third balk of the game was the leading run for Bridgeton?
Here's a 2-0 pitch, and low and away. And 3-0 on Helton.
They just got themselves early in a jam, just instantly, didn't they?
Leading off the inning, it was Carter with the base hit. He stole a bag. He was sacrificed over, hit by pitch to Harrison. Then a Trask reaches on the air, which could have been a potential double play ball, but kind of got caught in a bad spot up the middle in between hop.
I think you got to swing on this pitch.
And 3-0, let's see if he does. Nope, does not. Catches the outside corner. Helton thought it was ball 4.
Yeah, he did. This because he wasn't swinging. That was a perfect pitch.
Home plate umpire says, come on back.
I think I'd take that perfect pitch to try and put wood on the bat.
And here's the 3-1 delivery. This one's ball 4. Backing away from it, Helton. Then I would expect a mound visit here. I think Duncan has just run out of gas here in the 7th inning, as he has not had control issues the entire game.
Now Joe Berkelman heads to the mound to join the conference now, and they've got some players warming up in the bullpen. Can you see a number down there?
It's a lefty.
It's a lefty. Probably Joey Jivat.
Let's see, is it? Jivat's is a righty, so let's see.
He's a righty.
I believe I saw a 5 on the jersey, and that could be number 15, Brandon Gass, but cannot confirm that. We don't have a way of confirming that quite yet, but a meeting at the mound. The entire infield, and Jim, right there, I'm sure, especially with a slap hitter like Mike Young coming up, that's talking defensive strategy, and you never know. Kenny Reitz could have him put the bunt down right here. The leadoff hitting Young. He can handle the bat. He can bunt out of that leadoff spot. And the infield is going to come in on the grass. They want to play at the plate. Even the middle infielders are not playing double play. They're playing in on the grass for the play at the plate as Young slaps this one out to left field, but Mateo gives chase. He catches the ball, tagging up at third as Oliveri. Here comes the throw. It's wide, and a tag, a diving tag, and safe at the plate. The runner goes for third. It's a high throw, and the runner from second is going to round third. He's headed for home, and he's going to score easily. And that runner crosses the plate. That's Jesse Trask. As that was Oliveri, the courtesy runner, scores on the sacrifice fly from Mike Young. He gets the go-ahead RBI, and then the runner scores on the error. And Joe Birchman wants to argue the tag play, I believe. That's the second out of the inning. If he would have been out at the plate on the sac fly, the inning would be over. Instead, now it's 5-3. Bridgeton on top, sac fly and an error, as Oliveri and Trask come around to score. And Helton moves up to second base on the play.
Yeah, BJ, I wish we had the luxury of replay, because I think the catcher made the tag on the streaking runner.
And
And they just didn't. He didn't get the home call.
Well, it was it wasn't on our side in the press box here. It was on the side of the field of play, so really no way with live action like that for us to see it from here. But it looked like the diving attempt. It was a great effort by the catcher, Brandon Adams. What an effort, diving attempt.
It was a great effort.
And it was an exciting play as Gibbs' line just went out to center field. Conway, a diving catch in center field. He's a great center fielder, and with already a 5-3 score, he saves a run and maybe saves the game for Alton, as they'll have a chance to come back in this game as Bridgeton scores 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to take that 5-3 lead. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with 8th inning action as you are listening to Game 2 of the Metro Collegiate Championship game on the PrepCast.com Broadcasting Network.
We're defined by what we pass on to the next generation. The ConocoPhillips Wood River Refinery is a proud neighbor of the Riverbend region. Their employees produce and distribute quality refined products throughout the Midwest in an environmentally safe manner. By using innovative refining processes, they are ready to meet the energy challenges of the future, so we can pass on what matters most to the ones who matter most. ConocoPhillips, energy for tomorrow.
My dentist is like part of the family. He's always gone out of his way to make things as painless as possible for me. He's kind of like my American family insurance agent. Whenever I've got a problem, my agent solves it quickly, and it never requires Novocaine. I think my dentist could take some pointers from my agent. American Family Insurance. The family you choose.
American Family Insurance.
Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
That inning was all started by a hit by Carter, sacrificed by Masson, and then Tyler Harrison was hit by a pitch, an error up the middle as Coleman kind of let the ball play and went into center field. Helton walked, sacrifice fly by Young in the big play on the tag play, and we got confirmation from some other people that had a better angle on the play that Adams indeed did miss that tag, so it was a good call, and we move on to the 8th inning.
It was a great play. It's an awesome play. They threw the ball on a line. The catcher made a real sweeping tag, but he just couldn't quite get the mid on that streaking runner.
As Davidson, the lefty, goes back to work as Hawkins, the batter, looks at a called strike. That evens the count at 1. Hawkins so far tonight 0 for 2 officially. He also drew a walk in the 4th.
Davidson's got some good stuff out there.
And the lefty comes set from the stretch, brings it to the plate. Pop up on the right side by Hawkins. Trask has a play on it, makes the catch for out number 1.
That was easy.
A good play, yeah.
He just had to weave his way through an umpire, a first base coach.
And that's and Trask has shown on that scoop play he had earlier on that Erickson play, but throughout the playoffs and throughout the season, if you've been able to see Jesse Trask play first base, he might be the best defensive first baseman in the league. He makes difficult plays look routine, and he has the first put out of the 8th inning, and there's a strike call to Kurt Dremeyer as he reached on a base hit on the 6th. He scored the then go-ahead run for Alton.
We need to get some Major League scouts out here and look at some of these guys.
As Davidson on the 0-1 pitch to Dremeyer, just off the inside corner.
You know, Rick Lessman said, he said the Major League scouts come out when they're invited to come out, basically. They don't come and sit out those lawn chairs anymore and look at everybody. They come out when coaches convince them there's somebody to come worthwhile looking at. They know these coaches all know good talent.
And the 1-1 delivery on the way in the dirt. Makes it 2-1.
Interesting perspective, isn't it?
As Doc Davidson, the 3rd pitcher of the game. Steve Johnson went 4 innings, Jacob Worrell went 2, and Davidson in his 2nd inning of work. And this one's lined to right, and Dremeyer's done it again. Another base hit, a 1-out single. Helton tracking it down. He's going to spin and throw into second base. Hits the cutoff man Carter, and Dremeyer with a 2nd consecutive base hit here in the 8th inning. And let's see if Alton can get something going. As it's been kind of back and forth. Bridgeton led 2-0. Alton came back to take a 3-2 lead, then 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Bridgeton has their 2-run lead back.
Yeah, Shake hasn't been able to successfully hit the ball tonight. He's reached on an error, he walked, and he went out in the fielder's choice.
Has a good-sized lead for Dremeyer as in steps Kyle Shockey. Quick throw over. There's actually a slow move over from Davidson. You never know with those lefties. Usually lefties have about 3 different speeds on their moves, and some of them have just outstanding moves.
Well, they got the look. They're looking at first base. So
right. First guy that comes to mind is always Andy Pettit, all those pickoffs he's had in his career. And there's a ball, and some people argue that he balks every time.
They don't call him. They wouldn't dare.
Some people would argue. There's Davidson with a 1-0 count on the ball to Kyle Shockey. Dustin Deneen, the DH on deck.
I want to meet the brave umpire that's going to call balks on Andy Pettit.
And low and in. Yeah, you're not going to see that call. That's like the phantom play at second base with the double play. Just as long as you're close.
Happens all the time.
There's 2-0 count on Kyle Shockey playing third base here today. Dreemeyer at first with the lead. Davidson checks on him, brings it to the plate. It's out. No, called strike. Makes it 2-1. As for a moment, I thought that was going to be a ball, borderline call out off the outside corner, but called strike. It's 2-1 on Kyle Shockey. Where's number 29? He also catches for the Alton Indians. Playing third today, can also play second base. There's a short delay here with a 2-1 count on Kyle Shockey. And his number back to play. Dreemeyer takes his lead. Being held on by Trask. Here's the pitch. Catches the inside corner. So Davidson works the outside corner, gets the call. Comes back with a fastball on the inside part. And 2 straight called strikes. It's 2-2. As again, Davidson checking the runner. 2-2 pitch on the way. And this one's in the dirt. Makes the count full. And this is the last thing Davidson wants, is to put the tying run on base. Dustin Deneen, and then the top of the lineup will be coming up in this 2-run ball game. And a little bit of action down there in the right field. That's the bullpen for Bridgeton. So if Davidson gets in any more trouble, you can expect Kenny Reitz to go to his bullpen. It's Davidson's 3-2 pitch on the way. That's ball 4, tying run on base. And this has been just a seesaw game here tonight.
We got a real struggle. Both teams are looking for the 19th victory. That 19 is going to look awfully good to whoever walks up the field with them, gets to shake hands as the winners tonight.
Yeah, and if it's a 19th victory for Bridgeton, they would have a 2-0 series lead. If it's Alton with the victory here tonight, they would move. The series would move to a tie at 1 game apiece. As again, we mentioned earlier, these two teams faced off against each other in the championship series last year, and that was a sweep by Alton. They won game 1 4-3, the second game 9-4, the third game 6-1. And I mentioned it when I've done Bridgeton games this season before, but early in the year, Coach Blunt and Coach Reitz talked about last year against Alton. They ran out of pitching. This year they seem to be pretty well in order.
Yeah, and this is a best-of-5 series, so Bridgeton goes in the driver's seat if they win the game tonight. They could close it out tomorrow night.
As Davidson fires in a strike call to Dustin Deneen, the DH, 9th place hitter. He's walked, he's reached on an error, and he's lined out to second base.
You know what? Those ifs are just worthless in sports, though, aren't they?
It makes for good conversation, though.
Yeah, for the hot stove league, maybe.
There's an 0-1 pitch to Deneen on the way after Davidson checks the runners in the dirt. Harrison stays in front of it. Makes it a 1-1. And it's a right-hander warming up down in the bullpen for Bridgeton, as Kenny Reitz is going to come out and talk to his pitcher, and that'll give us time to once again thank the Metro Collegiate League. All season long, we brought you games on Tuesday and Fridays, and remember, you can go back to the archives and listen to those games anytime you would like, and we've had the entire playoff series covered. And if you want to go back and listen to the playoff games last year, any game we do here on PrepCast, you can go back and listen to since the start of PrepCast.com, and we'll be entering our 7th year of operation here once the fall season begins. But check out STLcollegebaseball.com, the official website of the Metro Collegiate League, and find out anything you'd like to know about the Metro Collegiate League. Kenny Reitz back in the dugout. We're back to action. 1-1 count on Dustin Deneen. Davidson winds and fires. The ball, check swing, gets away from Harrison. The tying run's going to move up to second base on the wild pitch. As the previous pitch, Harrison was able to block. That one not able to. The ball scooted away, and a 1-2 count on Deneen, but the tying run at second. As on deck, you go back to the top of the lineup to L.J. Watson with just one out in the inning.
Alton's got a good chance to tie up this game now. Base hit, it's a tie game.
So Davidson will be selective, or at least careful, rather, with a 1-2 count. Make his pitch. He winds and fires. This one's lined out to right center field. That looks like that's going to get down. Oh, yeah, all the way to the fence. It bounds to the fence. Both runs are going to score. Deneen round first. It's going to be a stand-up 2-run game-tying double for Dustin Deneen as both Dreemeyer and Shockey score. And the seesaw game continues. We're all tied at 5.
Well, he just jumped all over a fastball and drilled it all the way to the fence. The ball rolled to the about the 352-foot mark or so. It was a line drive past the center fielder. There's no play on that play. There was no question, crack of the bat, that it was going to be a tie game.
And that's the 6th hit of the game for Alton. 5 runs on 6 hits, 1 error for the Alton Indians. For Bridgeton, it's 5 runs on 8 hits and 3 errors, and Alton still has just 1 out in the inning, so they can take the lead with a runner in scoring position. Top of the lineup, L.J. Watson comes to the bat from the right side. He walked his last time up. This pitch is way up high.
You know, this is the only team from Illinois in the Metro Collegians 8-team league, and they might have a little chip on their shoulder. They like to prove that Illinois baseball is as good or better than anything you can throw at them from Missouri. When it's 7 against 1, they got something to prove.
And they won the championship, of course, last year, both the regular season and postseason. As Watson, the pitch to him is a swing and a miss, makes it 1-1.
And there's nobody warming up in the on the Alton side of the field either.
So Duncan has gone the distance so far. He's pitched 7 innings, allowed the 5 runs. Of course, not all those runs. I'll have to double check the official score, but there was an error in that 7th inning. I don't think all of the runs were earned in that 7th inning, but he has allowed the 5 runs through 7 innings of work for Duncan. As showing bunt Watson, he's going to bunt it right back to Davidson. Davidson fields it. He's going to have to hurry. He throws out Watson as he tosses it across to Zach Carter for the 2nd out of the inning. So the runner does move up to 3rd. Watson unable to reach base, but with the 2nd out of the inning, really the sacrifice fly not in play, but the runner moves up to 3rd.
I don't know, in a way that it's a pretty strange maneuver, because he doesn't score the run, he only moves him along, and I probably would have been swinging for the base hit to try and drive in the run.
Yeah, I think the same thing. As Conway comes in, Merrick Conway 2 for 4 on the night. He scored a run as well, and he's been their best player. Nice blocking the dirt by Harrison, prevents the runner Dustin Deneen from scoring as he's at 3rd base after the sacrifice bunt.
On the other hand, though, they knew they had Merrick Conway coming up, and if they didn't hit into a double play and end the inning, then that puts them in a very enviable position, because if there's anybody on this field that can drive in a run, this is the guy with the bat on his shoulder.
He's 6 for 8 in the championship series.
This guy's
leading a single and a double here tonight. 1-0 count on Conway, and it looks at a called strike. On deck is the lefty, Jordan Colvin. So really, Jim, do you really have to pitch to Conway here? Well, you don't want to put another runner on base, but he's been their hottest hitter right now.
He plays baseball from William Woods College in Fulton, Missouri. We talked about this MVP between Cody Terry and Merrick Conway. This would be a really tough choice. I'd have to go with co-MVPs, because I think they've both been tremendous contributors.
And it always depends who wins the series, right?
Yeah.
Usually the winning team.
As
Conway chops this one back. Good play by Davidson, and he makes the play. That would have given the lead to Alton, as that looked like they had a chance to go up the middle. If it didn't, it would have been tough to throw out Conway at first. So good play by Davidson. He does allow the 2 runs in the top of the 8th, and we're all tied up once again. After 7.5 innings, we're all tied up at 5. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with the bottom of the 8th inning. Bridgeton comes to bat. You're listening to Metro Collegiate Baseball on the PrepCast.com Broadcasting Network.
Jenny Becker of Paul Lauschke and Associates is a longtime supporter of American Legion Baseball. As a veteran player in the Riverbend real estate market, Jenny has sold and closed over $3 million in 2009. Whether you are buying or selling a home, call Jenny Becker today at 465-2966 and let her hit a home run for you.
Have you ever admired the well-kept turf on a golf course and thought, I wish my lawn looked like that? Well, now it can, and it's not too early to start planning for a beautiful lawn this summer. Led by one of only a few certified golf course superintendents in the region, we've been providing quality turf for over 20 years, and our experience in the industry is why our results are second to none. Call today to schedule your free lawn care analysis. The Greenskeeper Lawn Service. You do the watering, we'll do the rest.
The heart of their order coming up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Jeff Erickson, Cody Terry, Zach Carter, as we have a tie score at 5. And we'll recap the line score as we get a chance here in the bottom of the 8th inning as Duncan goes back to work. Erickson rips one down the left field line. Look out, Kenny Reed says a foul ball for strike number 1.
Yeah, we can settle some MVP now with the coming down the stretch. So Cody Terry could put the game into the win column. Maybe he goes up a notch.
As Erickson, a strong right-handed bat, is 1 for 3 here so far tonight. Looks at a pitch low and away. Makes it 1-1. He fouled the pitch off down the left field line. And then looks at a ball, 1-1.
We're all knotted up, 5-5, 8th inning.
As 5 runs on 6 hits, 1 error for Alton, 5 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors for Bridgeton. Alton has left 9 runners on. Bridgeton's left 3 on as the next delivery to Erickson, low and away. And when I think about it, this is the key batter. And obviously, leadoff hitter is always important, but when you have Cody Terry on deck, it makes it even more important that Erickson gets on base. And Erickson looks at a ball low and in. That's 3-1. 3-1 on Jeff Erickson. As a right-hander, Corey Duncan delivers the next pitch. Erickson working that left third base line. This one's just foul. He's hit 2 hard hit balls, 1 a line drive, 1 a hard ground ball down that third base line. Both foul, makes it a full count.
It's always a tough play for the umpire to call, isn't it, when it goes sailing right over the bag.
And of course, here in the championship series, Jim, we have 4 umpires. So in a regular season, 3 umpires, making sure you get the plays right with that extra umpire. 3-2 pitch, low and away. That's a walk. Erickson draws the walk, and you can hear the Bridgeton dugout. They're into it. They applaud Erickson drawing the walk, and in steps Cody Terry. Powerful right-handed bat for the Knights. And still no movement in either team's bullpen. Alton starter Corey Duncan has gone the distance so far. 7+ innings. For Bridgeton, they've used 3 different starters. 4 innings for Steve Johnson, 2 innings for Jacob Worrell, and 2 innings for Mark Davidson. As Cody Terry looks at a ball. Cody Terry, the shortstop. Showing bunt. I don't think he's going to bunt in this situation. There goes Erickson. It's a ground ball to Watson. Takes another bad hop on Watson. Can't get his body in front of it. Sails into center field. And with a runner in motion, they weren't going to get the double play, but another hop that Watson he couldn't stay in front of, and it sails into center field. And first and third, nobody out.
Simply amazing what a hop will do to change the complexion of a game. One thing it will do, it'll bring Joe Berkelman into the game to switch pitchers here. All of a sudden, now they got somebody warming up, and they're going to make a change.
And that must have been the pitcher that was warming up earlier, so it's not going to take too many pitches for him to get loose. As first and third, as it's going to be Erickson at third. Cody Terry is at first base after reaching base on that ground ball. And a big meeting on the mound with the entire infield. Joe Berkelman with his team. And then over at third base, Kenny Reed's talking to his 2 base runners and his batter. As the key hitter is Zach Carter, the right fielder, as he steps in this important situation for the Bridgeton Knights.
This is a critical situation. You got runners on the corner and you got nobody out. There's no room for not being able to score a run. Break up a 5-5 game.
As a delivery from Duncan and catches the inside. No, it doesn't catch the inside corner. Ball 1.
Well, he didn't switch pitchers.
So Duncan stays out there. I guess they did need to give the lefty more time down there. As after Carter, it's Ricky Masson and then Tyler Harrison. With nobody out, as Carter thought about swinging, does not pull the trigger, makes it 2-0.
Yeah, it's really in a hole.
So Terry on first base. He reached on the ground ball up the middle as next delivery, Carter, there's a strike. And did we give Terry a hit or an error on that ground ball? It took a bad hop on.
I think we gave him an error.
An error, so that's the second error of the game on Alton. And the next delivery to Carter is fouled down the right field side, makes it 2-2. And really, all that Carter needs to do is hit that fly ball, as Bridgeton will have a couple chances at that with nobody out in the inning, 2-2.
Ideally, I think you'd like to put that ball on the ground and keep the base runners running, not just get one run and have to hang on.
And surprisingly, they're playing double play depth up the middle on a tie score. Next delivery is fouled down the first base line. I guess Alton trying to avoid the big inning. If they brought the infield in, trying to get the double play, they'll give that run and hope their offense, which they have the heart of their order coming up, and not trying to prevent the big inning.
That's a pretty courageous thing to do.
And Duncan, in his 8th inning of work, he has just 3 strikeouts in the game, so not a strikeout pitcher. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, and as I say that, there's a strikeout. That's what I get. There's a 4th strikeout of the game for Corey Duncan, and the big first out of the inning. And now you would have no problem playing the infield back, because a double play would get them out of the inning.
Suicide Squeed might have looked pretty good there.
Carter swinging away, their 5th place hitter. He was already 3 for 3 in a game. He had a single in the 2nd, an RBI hit in the 4th, and a single and a stolen base in the 7th. So Kenny Reitz let him swing away. There goes the runner Terry from first. It's going to prevent the double play. The run is going to score an RBI ground out for Ricky Mastani. Just made contact. He reached out, got the ball off the end of the bat, moving on contact. Coming around to score is Erickson. He reached on the leadoff walk, and the seesaw game continues as Bridgeton now has the lead.
Innocent little roller like that could make all the difference in the world. Could send them back to ball one with a 2-0 lead. They can hang on with some pitching.
So Tyler Harrison will try and drive in another run, an insurance run, as Bridgeton leads 6-5. Harrison waves the bat so far today. He has grounded out, he's popped out, and he reached on an error. And his courtesy runner, Mike Oliveri, scored after he reached on that error. 2 errors in the game for Alton, 3 in the game for Bridgeton. The Airs have played a role in the scoring here tonight, as the next pitch is up and away to Harrison, makes it 2-0.
Well, we've seen 2 balks. We've seen batters batting out of order. We've seen rundowns. We've kind of seen it all, haven't we?
We've also seen some good defense as well.
Great defense.
Erickson made a great play. Merrick Conway, that play in center field. Each team has had a couple of spectacular defensive plays.
Yeah, that diving catch in center field gets through. That would have changed the game completely. That was a headlong play, wasn't it?
And Bridgeton would have at least 1 extra run, plus whatever they would have done after that catch with 2 outs. As Terry's at second base, this one is shot down the first base line, just foul. Makes it 2-2. On Tyler Harrison, the catcher. And he talked about batting out of order. His first plate appearance, he batted 8th. His last 2 plate appearances, he's batted 7th. But Alton didn't catch it, so
no.
Bridgeton batted out of order and got away with it. As Harrison bats.
I wonder if they even knew they batted out of order.
As the next delivery is in the dirt. Full count.
I mean, later on they probably knew it. But
just tuning in, 6-5. Bridgeton leads Alton. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Explain to me how that happens. How do you bat out of order? Seems like the guy on deck would say, "Excuse me, I'm up next."
Well, the only thing I think was if Harrison has been used to batting in front of trash, they just didn't look at the lineup card. The 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a foul tip. Adams couldn't hang on to it as Harrison swung through it and didn't swing through it, but it just barely caught a piece of it. As Trask on deck, if Harrison could reach. And if you're wondering, Alton, as I mentioned a little bit ago, they do have the heart of their order. Jordan Colvin, Brandon Adams, Derek Matei, and everybody gets on Zach Hawkins. So they do have some guys they would like coming up to the plate in the 8th inning, although Merrick Conway made the last out of that 8th inning. He's been their hottest hitter. 3-2 pitch to Harrison. This one's lined to left center field. Gets over the head of L.J. Watts. And that's going to score Cody Terry. A big insurance run for Bridgeton as Tyler Harrison with a big 2-out RBI single. That makes it 7-5. So that's an unearned run as Terry reached on that error. And here comes a slow walk from the manager, Joe Birchelman, and whole infield's going to come in once again as Bridgeton has scored 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll have a new pitcher. It is going to be number 15 for Alton. That is Brandon Gass. He's a lefty, and we'll talk more about Brandon Gass, the first pitching change of the game for Alton. And we'll come right back after this timeout as you're listening to Metro Collegiate Baseball.
Have you outgrown your home, or has your home outgrown you? If it's time for a change, call Matt Horn, the agent who was voted Madison County's #1 realtor. Most of Matt Horn's listings and sales come from referrals from satisfied customers. Call Matt Horn of Landmark Realty today for a free market analysis of your home. Call Matt Horn today at 560-8201 and put a top real estate professional in charge of all your real estate needs.
What do I have to do to sell you a car?
Roberts Motors, easy to get to, just off Highway 67 or Highway 3 in Alton.
And a new lefty in the game, Brandon Gass for Alton, that comes into the game, and his first pitch to Jesse Trask is a ball. It's 1-0 as Bridgeton leads 7-5 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They've scored 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. They scored 3 in the bottom of the 7th. As the runner is moving, the pitch is fouled off.
Boy, that's appropriate name for a pitcher, Gas, isn't it?
Yes, it is. As John Roth is the courtesy runner for Bridgeton, but interesting enough, he's a lefty that is one of those soft tossing lefties. As we'll get those numbers for Brandon Gass as soon as we get a chance. Actually, the lefty comes set and checks on the runner quickly. So we'll see if he has pitched in the postseason yet. As a 1-1 count on Jesse Trask, and swing and a miss. Good breaking pitch. I mentioned Gass likes the off-speed pitching. We don't have regular season stats for Alton, but
yeah, I think that's the first appearance for Gass in these playoffs.
First appearance to the lefty. The 1-2 count on Trask, trying to keep the score 7-5. The runner is moving. That's Roth. The throw down to second. Good one again by Adam. Actually, it short hopped. Colvin, it gets away, and moving up to third base will be Roth, and safe at third base as he got rid of the ball quickly, but ended up short hopping Colvin, who couldn't bring it in. The ball went into center field, so the third error of the game allows Roth to move up to third base. Each team now with 3 errors in the game. And Trask with that runner at third base now with a 2-2 count, and another breaking pitch is popped foul out of play. As Zach Helton, the on-deck hitter, if Trask can reach. As a pitcher getting loose down there in the right field line for Bridgeton. We'll see if he comes in for the 9th inning. And next delivery, Trask smokes this one to deep left center field. It's going to get over the left fielder's head. Mateo to roll all the way to the fence. Trask rounds first, heads for second, and he's going to round second but stay put. Another 2-out clutch hit for Bridgeton. They led 6-5, but they've tacked on with a 2-out hits by Harrison, and now Jesse Trask, the 7 and 8 hitters, the lower part of the order, coming through with 2-out clutch hits. So Roth, the courtesy runner, comes home to score. He was running for Harrison. The double for Trask in a big bottom of the 8th inning for Bridgeton, as we were tied coming into this bottom of the inning, but 3 more runs for the Knights. And it all started with a leadoff walk, Jim. How many times did that come back to haunt you? As Erickson led things off with that walk.
Well, I'm sure Jeremy Worrell is breathing a great sigh of relief because they were able to overcome his miscues of having those 2 balks and still get a healthy lead here.
And that seems like that was forever ago. That was when the score was tied at 2. And the teams have battled back and forth. Bridgeton led 2-0. Then it was 2-2. Alton took the lead 3-2. And then Bridgeton went up 5-3. Alton tied it at 5, and now Bridgeton leads 8-5. So we've had a back-and-forth game. It's been very exciting here.
Yeah, but in a back-and-forth game, Alton could come back and get 3 runs and tie it up and send it to extra innings.
It's been that kind of game.
Yeah.
As Gass comes set with the 1-0 pitch. This one cue balled right off the end of the bat of Helton. Makes it 1-1.
As manager Mr. Reitz knows, you better have some pitching to nail it down, or you could give the serve right back to your opponent.
Yep. So Alton swept Bridgeton last year in the championship series. If Bridgeton can hold on here today, they'll try and return the favor tomorrow night from the Ball One Athletic Association. As Helton looks at a called strike, makes it 1-2.
Yeah.
Again, that game moved back from the previous start times. That'll be at 7:30 tomorrow night at the Ball One Athletic Association. If there's a game 4, that would be on Thursday night from BMAC. Same start time, 7:30. There's a ball to Helton, makes it 2-2. So Deuce is wild here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, this is a best-of-5 series, so let's don't get ahead of ourselves. I've tried that before.
And this one is fouled straight back. Yeah, Bridgeton still has to finish this one off.
Right.
They do lead 8-5. 8 runs on 10 hits. 3 errors for Bridgeton. They've left 3 on so far here tonight. For Alton, 5 runs on 6 hits, 3 errors, and they have left 9 runners on base, and a lot of them early. 7. They left 7 on in the first 4 innings. As Helton bloops this one to the second baseman, Colvin, he puts it away, and that'll wrap up the 8th inning. But a big inning for the Knights. They take the lead 8-5, and we go to the 9th. It's a do-or-die 9th for the Alton Indians, with Bridgeton leading by 3. We'll be right back.
Make life easy for yourself at the United Methodist Village.
With no more stairs and no more home upkeep in a spacious apartment or villa home, with no upfront endowment and just 1 monthly fee, you stay in control of your finances. Now that's easy and smart. Countryside living that is fun, neighborly, and only minutes from the Clark Bridge. The United Methodist Village, where living is easy.
I only wish I'd have moved here sooner.
Hi, George Weber. Weber Chevrolet's year-end clearance is underway, making now a great time to save money when you buy and when you drive. Through the end of the month, we are offering the highest sales incentives of the year. And no matter what you hear in the media, believe me, our financing is still as available and aggressive as it's ever been, if not more. Combine that with our great incentives and you have the lowest payments of the year. And that's just the start of the great values at Weber Chevrolet in Granite City, Illinois. Or check us out on the web at webergc.com.
Here to try and save this one for the Bridgeton Knights. We go to the top of the 9th. They lead 8-5. And the new pitcher, the second Worrell tonight, it's Jeremy Worrell.
Yeah, it's Jeremy Worrell. It was Jacob Worrell that had the box, and Jeremy's going to try and close it out for Bridgeton. They both go to Indiana Wesleyan University. They're both Westminster College High School products. They're both the sons of Todd Worrell, the former Cardinal pitcher and Dodger. I'm not sure which team he was pulling for tonight when the Cardinals were playing the Dodgers, but probably the Cardinals, I would say.
St. Louis, right?
Yeah, St. Louis. Yeah, that Blues forgotten real quick. But too bad he probably, I don't know if he was here tonight. Proud night to see his boys play. Maybe he's here.
As he will be looking for the save. His brother pitched 2 innings earlier in the game. Let up 1 run. Both are right-handed pitchers, as it will be the heart of the order for Alton. As they trail 8-5, it'll be Jordan Colvin, Brandon Adams, and Derek Matea, as Worrell's first delivery is a fastball up and away. But Bridgeton has scored 3 runs in each of the last 2 innings to have this 8-5 lead. As Worrell stares in to Tyler Harrison, flashing signs, he gets his sign, brings it to the plate. This time the fastball is down the middle for strike 1.
Yeah, about 90 miles an hour probably.
Looks like he's got some good velocity to it, as Worrell has a sign again and see if he wants to go with the fastball once again. He does. This one's lined out the center, giving chase Young, and it's going to bounce right in front of Young. And here we go again.
Yeah, they're not done yet.
Both teams will not give up. It's been back and forth. We've mentioned that, but Colvin with the leadoff single against Jeremy Worrell. Worrell pitched for the Knights this year. He pitched in 9 games, 5 starts, 28 innings total for Jeremy. He had 24 strikeouts, and on the regular season, a 5.14 earned run average, let up 19 hits in those 28 innings of work. Where Jeremy gets in trouble is 20 walks in those 28 innings. And there he throws a strike to Brandon Adams. As Worrell comes set, checks on the runner, gets away from Trask. Colvin's going to go for second base. Trask gets to the ball, fires it across, and a wild throw, but Colvin will not be able to advance. So moving up on the air, that's the 4th error of the night on Bridgeton, and Colvin at second base.
They need more base runners than that, though. They you can look at this. You can look at this in different ways. You got three outs to go for a Bridgeton win. You got 3 runs to tie for an Alton uprising. So Alton really needs it badly. Otherwise, they hit the ball with tomorrow, down 2 in a best-of-5 series, and that's a lot against the wall stuff. But teams do it all the time. So, but you make it tougher on yourself if you can't win tonight, especially when you're in your own home park. So the conference on the mound is over, and Bridgeton and Alton goes back to work.
And Kenny Reitz, I'm sure, was saying, it looked like he motioned toward the runner at second, saying, don't worry about that runner. We have a 3-run lead here as an 0-1 count on Brandon Adams, the catcher, and the delivery is going to hit him. He spun away from it, hit him in the shoulder. Really didn't have much time to react. Like earlier when the hitter turned to the ball, that one was a fastball. So he turned in, and now the tying run is going to come to the plate, and I would expect Coach Reitz to have somebody loosen up pretty quickly as we have a courtesy runner.
They have nobody in the bullpen right now. This is Jeremy Worrell's game right now.
And that's Joey Givatz, the starting pitcher in the Game 2 clincher in the semifinals. He pitched 8 1/3 innings to pick up the victory when they swept Baldwin. He's going to run at first base for Brandon Adams, the catcher. So in steps Derek Matea here tonight. He's 0 for 4. But he's had a productive playoff so far. He was 5 for 11 in the playoffs coming in, so still .333 average in the postseason, including 3 RBIs. He's looking for a big RBI here. Nobody out in the inning. 1-0 count on Mateo. On deck, it's Zach Hawkins.
This is deja vu all over again, the way Bridgeton knocked off Clayton in the first game of the playoffs.
And the next delivery is up high. Makes it 2-0. But you never really have had the feeling in this game, no matter which team took the lead or it's been anybody's game. It's been a wild game, as it's 8-5, and so Alton, you knew they were going to give a go at it, and Worrell struggling with his control. This pitch is way up and in, gets away from Harrison. Both runners move up, and actually
he was hit by the pitch.
He hit him. Actually, home plate umpire is waving that he didn't hit him. He wanted to hit by pitch, but no, umpire says it did not hit him. So just a pitch way up and in, and
suffice to say, it's been a tough night for the Worrell brothers.
Second and third, yeah, struggling with the control.
We've had 2 balks and a hit by a pitch, sandwiched by a single, and they're in hot water.
But the tying run, the runner at the plate is the important one. 3-0 count. This one's up high. It's a walk, and now some action for Bridgeton down on the bullpen. And this is going to be the second trip to the mound from Coach Kenny Reitz. So I think he's going to have to remove his pitcher, who was allowed a single to Jordan Colvin to lead off the inning. Brandon Adams was hit by a pitch, and now a walk to Derek Matea. And a slow walk by Kenny Reitz as Jeremy Worrell will not record an out, but he is responsible for the 3 runners on base, and we'll get this all figured out who the new pitcher is as Worrell exits the game. And we'll take this time, actually we'll keep it right here for a moment, and we want to thank all of our sponsors, especially the Metro Collegiate League. Thank you very much for making this possible throughout the season. Tuesdays and Friday nights all season long, we've been broadcasting to you from BMAC and Baldwin Athletic Association. We thank everybody at those 2 facilities for being great all year long. And check out stlcollegebaseball.com to find out all the information about the Metro Collegiate League. We'd also like to thank our sponsors that help us throughout the entire season. They helped us through football season, the fall season, along with all the other fall sports, through the winter season and the spring season, not only the major sports, but we've covered just about any sport you can think of at the high school level and college. We'd like to thank Marty's Automotive, Veta Sports, EasyStream.com, National Academy of Beauty Arts, Vandalia Bus Lines, Heroes and Legends, and the Missouri Athletic Club. And also a reminder that for a souvenir, you can always purchase these CDs from these broadcasts. You can Check that link out on the homepage of PrepCast. Just click on Buy CDs and Easy Stream, which this program that we use here for streaming, you can purchase those CDs.
This game's going to belong to Zach Helton. He comes in relief. He's got a 3-1 record. He's pitched 21 2/3 innings. He's got a 2.91 ERA, and it's his game. And here it's a bases loaded and no out situation with a 3-run lead.
And Jim, he pitched yesterday. He pitched 3 innings in relief, so he comes right back at it, and he actually led the team with 2 saves during the regular season. There was numerous players that had the saves for this Bridgeton team. 6 different players. 5 of them had 1 save. Helton had 2, so there really wasn't a guy that was a set short man. But Helton is the man here tonight. During the regular season, he had a 2.89 earned run average. 8 games, only 1 start, so he really is one of the guys they bring in specifically in relief. And he's in a tough situation. His first pitch is in the dirt, blocked by Harris, and he has a bases-loaded situation. That tying run is at first base, so they're just looking for any kind of out.
Well, the scouting report says he's plays many positions, so none more important than being the relief pitcher and trying to save a game.
So 1-0 count. The batter, Zach Hawkins, he's 0 for 3. He's also drawn a walk. He looks at a called strike on the inside corner, and there's no way he was going to swing at that pitch, but the base is loaded ahead in the count.
Yeah, he froze him on that pitch.
And now with a 1-1 count, I'm sure he'll be much more aggressive as from the stretch, Helton working. Lines and fires. This one is right down the middle. Strike 2, 1-2.
I think Bridgeton's design is get a strikeout, get a double play, go home.
That would be perfect if you're Kenny Reitz. If you're the Alton Indians, you have a hitter on deck that's had 2 consecutive base hits, Kurt Driemeyer, so they want to get to him without the double play ball as this next pitch is fouled off to the right side. 1-2 on Hawkins. Again, the score 8-5. Bridgeton on top as we play here in the top of the 9th inning. Thanks for tuning in to the PrepCast Broadcasting Network. As Hawkins,
we got a game that people definitely can't tune off.
That's right. It's been exciting all the way through. It hasn't really been a dull moment. Here's a grounder to the right side. Trask is going to field. No play at second. Tosses to Helton for the first out of the inning. A run scores, a productive out there for Zach Hawkins. Not only does he score a run, but the 2 runners advance to second and third, so you have the tying run at second base. So the play goes 3-1. Trask to Helton. So moving up to third base is Givas. The second, it's Matea.
I would put Driemeyer on just automatically. I'd put him on because that run doesn't really matter.
Well, that would be the go-ahead run.
Well, it'd be the go-ahead run, but they need a force. They don't have a force situation at first base.
And Helton goes right after him, though, and a swing and a miss, and Driemeyer has singled his last 2 times up, and he scored his last 2 times up with Kyle Shockey on deck.
Reach is going for the strikeout.
As Helton comes set, checks on the runners, brings it to the plate. This one's popped a mile high to right field. Underneath of it is the right fielder, makes the catch. It's going to be a sacrifice fly. The throw goes into second base. They let that run. It doesn't matter, so that makes it 8-7. And that's a new right fielder. That's number 11 making that catch because Helton came in from right field. And that's Ricky Masson, who was the DH. So he was a DH. He comes into the game to right field, has the put out. And 2 productive outs for Alton, but now they're down to the last out, so now they need a hit from Kyle Shockey.
Yeah, this the season. The season is right there on the line for the Alton Indians with Kyle Shockey and a runner on second.
And importantly, Matea not able to move up to third base. And here's a line drive to left center field. That's going to tie the game up. Base hit the center. Young is going to make a throw at it, and it's going to be close. No, cut off by Trask, and we're all tied up at 8. As Kyle Shockey with the base hit to left center field. And just look at the line score. 3 runs in the 7th inning for Bridgeton, 3 in the 8th, and Alton now has scored 2 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th, and we're tied at 8.
And they just threw the flag for too many men on the field. As the whole Alton dugout erupted and was halfway out to the mound.
What a game this has been, as in steps Dustin Deneen. The DH steps in with a runner on first base.
If the ball goes through the first baseman's mitt, We will have a replay of the Clayton-Bridgeton game.
And if folks not aware of that situation, in game 1 of the semis, Bridgeton was trailing that game 6-0. They battled back and were trailing in that 9th inning when a ground ball to the second baseman. Janetti threw it to first, or not Janetti, but Bavolo for Clayton threw it to first base, and it went through the first baseman's
Spencer
mitt.
Mason's glove.
Spencer Mason. And that allowed Bridgeton to take the lead, and that was really the momentum turn in that series. And
we got to report that accurately. It went through his mitt because the webbing tore.
Which I guarantee I've never seen. I don't know how many people would have ever seen something like that. As Deneen has a 1-1 count. Next delivery from Helton, hit flat out to right field. Masson giving chase. He's not going to get to it. It moves to right field, gets by. And the runner from first is going to be round second. He's going to be rounded. Half third base, play at the plate. Head first line, safe at the plate. Kyle Shockey safe as the ball got by Masson in right field in the blue pit by Deneen. And then the error by the right fielder Masson allows the go-ahead run to score, makes it 9-8. And Deneen goes all the way to third base.
Well, they stole the playbook from Clayton. This is the replay of that game.
Just a wild game, and
look at those 4 runs on the board for
the line score, just back and forth, and now we're going to have a bottom of the 9th for sure after the game is tied, and now taking the lead as Bridgeton will have the top of the lineup coming up. As the first pitch to Watson is up and in for a ball.
We got a runner at third base that could give him some insurance.
As coming set is Helton from the stretch, brings it to the plate, and swinging a foul tip and a miss, but it's caught in the mitt. Makes it 1-1.
You know, that shot by Deneen, they heard that one over in Bethalto.
Alton crowd right in front of us, and you could definitely hear them going wild, and the bench exploded as well. It looked like an innocent little blue pit, but it got by the right fielder as Watson hits this one to center. Mike Young has a beat on it, makes the catch. And an unbelievable game here tonight as Alton scores 4 runs in the top of the 9th inning to take a 9-8 lead here in Alton. So we'll come back with the bottom of the 9th inning. Who knows what will happen in the bottom of the 9th in this game? And
we know one thing's happening. Bridgeton's going to bat.
That's the only thing we do know is we head to that bottom of the 9th inning. We'll be right back on the PrepCast Broadcasting Network.
There's a long pass. It looks like it's going to be overthrown. Oh, the receiver dashes under the ball and makes the catch. Touchdown! Where did he get that extra burst of speed? That off-season training really paid off.
Alton Memorial Hospital's Human Motion Institute Sports Performance helps athletes maximize their potential and improve their game. With sports performance training, you'll leap higher, run faster, and throw farther. Learn more at altonmemorialhospital.org. Human Motion Institute Sports Performance, building better athletes.
We're defined by what we pass on to the next generation. The ConocoPhillips Wood River Refinery is a proud neighbor of the Riverbend region. Their employees produce and distribute quality refined products throughout the Midwest in an environmentally safe manner. By using innovative refining processes, they are ready to meet the energy challenges of the future, so we can pass on what matters most to the ones who matter most. ConocoPhillips, energy for tomorrow.
For Bridgeton, it will be Mike Young, Monty Gibbs, Jeff Erickson, anybody gets on base, Cody Terry, and we mentioned before the last break, who knows what will happen as each team in the last 2 at-bats have each scored 6 runs. As Young shows bunt, misses.
As people in the community are racing over here to see the exciting end of this game. I think the crowd is still building at 10:15.
And call a friend if you're listening live, or if you go back and listen on archive. This game will be on the website forever. You go back and listen to it for free as Young swings and misses at a high delivery. Would have been a ball. Makes it 0-2.
Boy, he slammed that bat into the ground. He's angry at himself.
Mike Young 0 for 3 on the night, but his last at-bat he hit a sacrifice fly that gave Bridgeton a 4-3 lead, and then another run came around on an error on that same play, made it 5-3. That was back in the 7th inning. Mike Young working against the lefty Gas. Next delivery, breaking pitch, slaps it out to center field. As Conway had him shaded to left center field. If not, that ball might have got down, but perfect defensive positioning for the Indians. It's out number 1. So in steps Monty Gibbs. This game far from over. Monty Gibbs has been on base 3 times, 2 hits and a walk. And he'll try and get on base once again. From that second spot in the lineup, the left fielder, as he bunts this one, and Gass cannot make the play, and Gibbs on base for the 4th time. So he walked in the first, singled in the third, singled in the 6th, flew out in the 7th, and now he's on base again. And you have the heart of the order coming up with that runner on base. So with Erickson up, then Cody Terry. And who knows? Monty Gibbs could be in motion here. 11th hit for Bridgeton.
One thing we've done is we've given a real break to Matt Judkins and Tim Hawkins to call tomorrow night's game, because we've really set it up for a great game tomorrow night.
As Gass brings it to the plate and a swing and a miss. Yeah, there'll be a lot of information to talk about tomorrow night.
We need to share our information with them on a very short turnaround.
So it's just been a wild playoffs here this year. You're talking about the first 2 series in the semifinals, and then the big blowout yesterday, and then this game. It's just been wild, to say the least. There's a 1 strike count on Erickson. He swings, or he watches ball 1. It's 1-1.
Kenny Reitz is saying this is real simple. All we got to do is score 2 runs, we go home the winners.
As now Gass steps off as one of his coaches.
And not to be confused, Bridgeton's the home team tonight in Alton, so this is the last at-bat of the game, unless they tie it.
As Erickson picked up a walk and scored last inning. There's a move over to first base.
We have 2 very animated benches right now.
Oh, they're into it.
Oh, they're definitely. Both teams are up on the rail.
That's great. And the way these teams have battled back from adversity in this game, it shows how much they really do care. There, Gibbs is picked off. Gass gets him picked off to Hawkins, and Watson's going to try and track him down. He tags him out. No, save, he didn't tag him. Gibbs still on the rundown. Now this is Coleman chasing him, and Coleman finally tags him out. And he is indeed out. The Bridgeton bench didn't think so. As you have some players out on the field, they need to go back as the second place umpire is saying out. We have a little controversy as a few of the Bridgeton players are on the field. And now Kenny Reitz will argue. What a wild play that was.
I think he's out. Don't you?
And he was out, and that's the second time that Gibbs has been. It's the second time Gibbs has been picked off, and I think the home plate umpire either threw somebody out or is warning somebody to. And there's several players, including Nick Giannetti was one of the players that was on the field, and
tempers are flaring.
And we're just talking about how important this is to the players, and that proves it right there. But Gibbs, you just cannot get picked off in that situation, as he was picked off in the first inning. The lefty picks him off here. As home plate umpire still talking to the Bridgeton bench.
They don't have anybody to drive in now.
They have to restart. I mean, with a 1-1 count, you do have Erickson and Terry both extra base potential, but yeah, that's just a killer for Bridgeton, and how quickly this series can turn in the game of baseball. I mean, 8-5, Bridgeton led going to the 9th inning. Alton scores 4.
Well, Bridgeton can't blame them. They can't blame anybody when you get your runner picked off twice. You know, that was the tying run, and he fell asleep at the switch, basically. He wasn't stealing. He just got picked off.
And so once the umpire is able to restore order, we'll come back as the umpire looks like he has control and ready to go again, as Jeff Erickson, the third baseman, has a 1-1 count, and he is the last chance now for the Bridgeton Knights. And now timeout called by Erickson. That pitch does not count. Gass went ahead and threw it, but no pitch. And Erickson will step back in, taps home plate. Gassy winds and fires, and this one is popped down the right field line, giving Chase Hawkins has a chance, and over the shoulder makes the play. And a big win for Alton. What a ball game here tonight, and one of the more unusual games you will ever see, as Alton has tied the series at 1 game apiece. The 9-8 comeback victory was 8-5, going to the top of the 9th. 4 runs in the top of the inning for Alton. And they tie this series up. What a comeback victory. You really have to credit Alton with not giving in. They were down and out several times in the seesaw battle, but just a great effort by Alton, and both teams really gave us a show here tonight.
Well, we had 20 hits, 17 runs, 5 errors.
We had balks, we had a couple of runners score on throwing errors. We had pickoffs. We had just about everything in this ball game tonight, and we're going to take a timeout so we can organize and let you know the complete stats and talk about the offensive stars and the winning pitcher, losing pitcher, all that good stuff coming up after our final timeout. As once again here, Alton has tied the series at 1 as going into tomorrow night at Baldwin Athletic Association for game number 3. And we're going to take that timeout. We'll be right back on the PrepCast.com Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, my hairstylist is like family. When pool water turned my hair green, she came over right away. Now that kind of commitment is a lot like my American family insurance agent. When our washing machine flooded the basement, my agent showed up wearing knee-high rubber boots. My agent understands that the ultimate coverage isn't a piece of paper, it's peace of mind. American Family Insurance, the family you choose.
American Family Insurance.
Call me, Gerard Fisher, at 466-7062.
Jenny Becker of Paul Lauschke and Associates is a longtime supporter of American Legion Baseball. As a veteran player in the Riverbend real estate market, Jenny has sold and closed over $3 million in 2009. Whether you are buying or selling a home, call Jenny Becker today at 465-2966 and let her hit a home run for you.
And welcome back here at in Alton at the Lloyd Hopkins Field, as Alton has defeated the Bridgeton Knights 9-8 in what can only be described as a wild game, back and forth. We had everything. We mentioned that before we went to break. The final line score, run through that real quickly, as Alton wins 9-8, ties the series at 1. Game 3 tomorrow night at Baldwin Athletic Association at 7:30. As Matt Juckins, Tim Miller have the call there, as it was 9 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors for Alton, 8 runs on 11 hits, 3 errors for Bridgeton. Bridgeton left 4 runners on. Alton here tonight, they left 10 runners on base. And the winning pitcher here tonight is Brandon Gass. He came in relief to end the 8th, and then he was a pitcher at record for the 9th, and he got the last 3 outs. And losing pitcher is Zach Helton. He came into a tough spot. Bases loaded, nobody out. A blue pit hurt him. But he's a losing pitcher here tonight for the Bridgeton Knights.
Yeah, Bridgeton had some major meltdowns in this game, and it cost them dearly. But let's give credit where credit is due. When you get spanked 16-5 and you can come back and win a 1-run game, that's you've picked yourself up off the carpet. And they go to Baldwin tomorrow night at 7:30, all even apiece. You know, is the winner. The winner will now move 1 up in the series, and it looks like it's going to be a best-of-5 series. That's what it is. They'll probably go all 5 games. This is really great baseball. Both teams just refuse to quit, but hitting stars everywhere. Merrick Conway is a spectacular player for the Alton Indians. Great game by Dustin Deneen, Kyle Shockey, Kurt Drurymeyer. The lower end of the lineup really produced for Alton Indians, and I'm sure that Joe Berkelman has got to be very, very happy with the performance of a team that turned over virtually all their players last year that went to the World Series.
And looking at Bridgeton, the one thing that stands out for both teams is how many 2-out hits you had in this game. I mean, you look at Tyler Harrison and Jesse Trask in that 8th inning with the 2-out RBI hits. You know, Ricky Masson had the productive RBI ground out, but then you also had Erickson and Cody Terry and Mike Young with RBIs, or at least productive at bats. So you really had both teams coming through with clutch hits at key times, and it was just, we thought that whoever batted last would win the game, but that wasn't the case. Brandon Gass able to get the last 3 outs, including the big pickoff in the 9th inning.
Yeah, and I don't believe he's, appeared in the series. I don't think he's been in the playoffs. This is probably his first opportunity, but it's, you got to be patient. I mean, I don't know how many of these guys are going to go into Major League Baseball, probably none of them, but they got hearts of lion as competitors. I mean, Cody Terry, these guys, they play their hearts out. They play like this is the 7th game of the World Series, and it was a really, really competitive game. If you came and And if you listen to the game or you saw the game, it was one of the best baseball games played. I mean, maybe it was a little sloppy in some respects, but it was, from a competitive standpoint, it was a brilliant game. And I certainly feel privileged that I got to be part of the action. It was really fun.
Absolutely, I agree. And again, you can go back and listen to this game absolutely free on archive anytime you would like. And make sure you tune in for Game 3 as things getting very interesting in this series. Series tied at 1. Tune in tomorrow night from Baldwin Athletic Association. 7:30 is the game time for game number 3, as they'll come on the air a little bit before for some pregame. But first pitch scheduled for 7:30. So that's going to wrap things up. Alton wins 9-8. Series tied at 1 for Jim Bear. I'm BJ Schulte. Thanks for tuning in to the PrepCast Broadcasting Network here tonight, and good night.
RiverBender.com's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by Jenny Becker, Paul Lauschke and Associates. Let Jenny hit a home run for you. Greenskeeper Lawn Service. You do the watering, we'll do the rest. ConocoPhillips. Energy for tomorrow. Matt Horn, Landmark Realty. Put a top real estate pro in charge. Roberts Ford, the value store since 1949. Alton Memorial Hospital, the best health care close to home. Weber Granite City Chevrolet. Buy American. United Methodist Village, where living is easy. Gerard Fisher, American Family Insurance. All your protection under one roof. And the Chuck West Agency, helping business owners for over 46 years.